And you're the new bucket.
He's in very good form today.
Probably got the same eyesight. It's great, the great man bucket.
Well, you bounced back from a week of illness, Grub. You've been saving it up.
I'm good as gold, mate.
Week of illness. Just a week of just a ridiculous. He's weak. That's what he is.
Oh, dear. Now, we're going to trial, we're having our own little pre-season here today. Trial the four-man commentary team. Dale and I are going to try and make some sense out of what's going on. And then the experts, Braids and Grubby. Now, you're going to have a team each today, boys. What's the plan?
Well, I don't know yet, but I will give you one word of warning. There's actually 5 people that can come in the box grand final day. So your position could be on. This is like football. You can be dropped. You know that.
I'm well aware of that.
So if you don't perform well today, you're right in the gun, mate, I'll tell you.
I know I'm walking on very thin ice.
Big shout out to Bailey, too, who's recovering from a concussion from a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
Cubby's wearing 7.
Cubby's wearing 7.
Is that what, you don't think we would have known who it was, you idiot?
Dear. Cubby's wearing 7. That's important. Caleb Bashley is probably going to get at least 1 vote today from Dale Smith. We know that already.
Well, I tell you what, he was a good player actually, but he's such a dumbo.
Anyway, this is a game we're really looking forward to. Let's have a look at some of the other games today because there's still a few of interest with the finals, but there's also a couple that are just in general interest to see how sides have improved. And the one I'm really looking forward to seeing the result of is Winchelsea are hosting Corio. Corio have, as Grubby pointed out, 5 wins, not my 6 as I suggested this morning. But they could very well have 6 by 5 o'clock tonight, Grubby.
Look, I don't think so. They can win, of course, but I just don't think so. For their sake, I'd have loved the game to be at the Devil's Playground because I think that'd be every chance there. But Winch, look, Winch have been struggling with injuries, and I think those injuries have kept them out from being competitive for a Final 5 spot. Caleb Brown out for a lot of the year has really hurt them. And the day we went to went to Belpost Hill, we were all humming and hawing who we're going to tip. And when we saw the sides, it was a lay-down misère because they had so many out. So I think they've got a few back. They're not a bad side, Winch, and I think next year could be their go if they can retain their players and stay clear of injury. Corio have done a massive job this year. I love the way off-field Greg Ince has performed and his committee, I should say, and Darren and Joel and all the people involved with their Corio. They should give themselves a pat on the back. But the bottom line is, let me tell you this, the bottom line is, it's been a great year for them. If they go out next year and go back to 1 or 2 wins, then the whole year's been no good. So, they've got to continue next year, and I think they will. Today, I think they'll fall a tiny bit short of Winch out at Winch, but I reckon it'll be a crackerjack game.
Just on the back of that, Daniel Greske did tell me recently as excited they were to get Butch Shaw for another couple of years. All of their current, what he regarded as better players, have committed to next year. So that's important for Winch because they've been notorious recruit 6, lose 6 for a long, long time.
Well, they have, and the recruits that they get injured. But just be careful. Don't listen too much of what Daniel Greske says. He's a bullshit artist.
Goes for Carlton.
Actually, listen to whatever he says. Smart aleck.
How do you see the game going, Braids?
Look, I think we've sung Corio's praises, and you can see the direction they want to go in, and that's what they're sticking to their plan, which is really, really good. And for all the reasons Grubby said, that the club is performing well off field. It's a welcoming place. I hadn't been there for quite some time, and it is. You walk in, you feel like you belong there, and they're happy to Whereas the old days you
look over your shoulder.
Didn't know what you were going to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Get out of there by 6. Winch on the other hand said there. When you've basically got 22 to pick from, you can't afford to lose your best 6, and that's what's happened to them. And we know games are won and lost with your bottom 6 players. Unfortunately for Winch, they've lost their best players. So
look at this bloke. Hey,
what's with them socks? I don't think I do.
They're great, but they 10, Cubby's 10 now apparently. Winch. I think Winch will get the job done out at the Gun Club. Braden back in. All right. I'll just put that across the air. So Winch should get the job done, but Corio be in it right up to the end, I reckon. If Winch take the foot pedal any stage, Corio could run over the top of them.
Just on that depth matter, Winch are probably going to play finals, and I don't think that's happened in the reserve, sorry.
Yep.
I don't think that's happened for many, many years at the club, so that's a good sign that they have got a bit more. So, looking forward to the outcome of that game. It's not be all or end all, but it's a bit of a litmus test.
They've probably got a couple of blokes running around the twos that should be playing ones, but I reckon it's more fitness issues that are putting them in the twos. They don't look like they do the work. So you'd think that they should, if they get serious and these blokes put pressure on, there's a couple of blokes in their twos that could possibly strengthen their one side next season.
Good to be able to instill some discipline below threatening if you don't.
Well, look,
don't play.
I'm probably the last person that should be putting that out there, but
No, but you're right. I see a kid there in their seconds, in Zedekiah Copeland. I believe he's got the ability and the class to play senior football. But at the moment, he hasn't quite got the fitness. His legs are huge, actually, the last time I've seen. But he needs to get fit, and he'll be a regular spot in their side. And I like the way he plays. So if a couple of them get in and a couple of recruits, no doubt they'll be a force next year. The only thing that worries me is every year for the last 3 years we've been saying they'll be good next year. Well, it's about bloody time you were.
Yeah, well, the asset is on them over the summer, no doubt. Out to the AA Semi-Trailers Oval at Anarchy today. They're hosting Geelong West, who have been... Foot-rod flats, if you prefer. They're hosting Geelong West, who have been terribly disappointing. Start of the year was expectation that they would play finals. They've never really been in the hunt at any stage. They'll probably win today, but Grubby, have you liked what you've seen at Anarchy? Because they've had some pretty good... Well, at least they're kicking a lot more goals this year, which is important.
No, I don't like what I've seen out there because they've won one game and they've been smashed most weeks. So I don't like the results that I've seen, but I do appreciate how hard that their committee and their people work. And you're right, to actually, in some matches, get a bit closer than what we would have thought. So you never like to see a club down like that. But who knows? I don't know if Daniel Bumworth's going to go on. If he does, he's got to get some players or somebody in there from Geelong, because the type of player that they're getting from the Western Region Division 2 and 3 don't quite measure up to GDFL standard. So I actually don't like what's going on, but I do like the fact that they never give in. They try their hardest, like they did out here against Werribee when we were here. They didn't kick a goal, and they were still trying till the final siren. I do like the fact that they've won one game and they've got off the bottom, and I don't know what I can say about them for next year, because I can't see any improvement unless these changes are made. So for what happens next year, I honestly couldn't comment on it. I don't know.
Dale, you've coached a few teams. If you were sitting over the summer looking for a prospective job, would there be any appeal at all to go out to Anarchy with what you've seen?
Not unless you can take a handful of players with you. So that's pretty much. I was quite happy sitting there back listening. Actually, I wasn't even concentrating. He's put me on the spot here. But again, it's. Look, as I said, the club, the environment, the facilities now that they've got, the ground's probably as best as got. Everything there they've got is going A1. But to get players out there, you really need to be able to drive pretty heavily, as I said. And then with that, how many can you take with the point system the way it stands? So we spoke about it a couple of weeks back. As I said, my only way I can see them out of it is let's scrap the points from, let's put the salary cap aside, let's let them get them back on track. But again, in an equal playing field, why should they be able to do that when Corio have worked their way back in the way they've done it, and why should other clubs then suffer by not being able to go out and do the same sort of thing? So I honestly don't know what the answer is. I agree with what Grubby just said. As I said, they do need to get a local bloke in that may be able to direct a half a dozen players to come out with them, whether it's blokes that are just on the fringe of the GFL footy or Bellarine footy or even our level of footy that want to go and play some seniors or might get into a senior side. There's an opportunity for you to go across to the club and help them out. But do you want to do that, or do you want to stay and play with your mates that you've already got? I don't know.
The only thing I disagree with that is you can't scrap the salary cap, because that's what it was brought in for. Sides used to spend money that they didn't have. So if they go out and spend a fair bit of money and become competitive, and then they can't play them the following year, they go exactly back to the situation that they were. So I don't think you can scrap the salary cap, but I'm all for scrapping the points for them to try and get them up to be competitive again. No worries about that.
So the other thing you're saying there is, Grub, is if we don't do one or the other, then we're only prolonging something that's going to happen eventually, and they won't have a club.
Exactly. But the thing is too, what do you do with North Geelong?
Well, exactly right.
And even Belmont and West, who haven't been in finals. I think West might have been once, but it's not such much a disadvantage to the top sides, but it might be a disadvantage to the sides that are just above them.
Yep.
Spider, perfect segue. Geelong West, Matt Hubbard come from Drysdale at the start of the year. He was big goal kicker in the Bellarine. Everyone got excited. He played a game and a half. Blake Dye missed a big chunk of the year. but taking into account, they've probably still been disappointing.
Yeah, well, Hubbard did a hamstring and then retired, so he won't be back. Yeah, look, again, we've heard of people talking about, sides promising. Yes, I know injuries take their toll in a season, but everyone has them. West are probably in the same boat as Winch and these sides that come in and say, next year's our year. Well, the probably side has to deliver. Not having die hurts, but the games that I've seen, it's been hard for him to get the ball down there as well, and some of the delivery hasn't been great. Hubbard would have been fantastic for him if he was fit and stayed fit all year, but when you got blokes who running in their 30s who are your best players, a bit like Aniki where Bunners is their best player at 38, it doesn't augur well for the future. Whether there has to be more input through the combined, the Giants combined that they've got, and some of their juniors need to sort of go through that system, I don't know, but they've got to start finding something to deliver. And I give Aniki every chance today because I just don't know what West is going to turn up. I just don't know what they've got.
Dye's out injured.
So Dye's out, and I mean, we've seen a couple of sides dine out on playing Aniki, but they've been reasonable sides that have done it. And I don't know if West will. I mean, they were competitive against Corio last week. It was 16 points, whatever it was, at the end, 14 points in the end. So, it's got to be a chance.
Yeah, I'm not so sure they are, but when you talk about injuries, I just think West and Winch have been hit harder than nearly everybody else.
They're best players.
But it's called depth, because I'll tell you, there's a team there that had a lot of injuries for a long time and still didn't lose any games, and that was Thompson, because they had the depth. And unfortunately, these clubs haven't quite got the depth when they lose that many players. Like Werribee last year, they lost too many to cover. So when you say, everyone has injuries, I just reckon West and Winch have had more than their fair share to their better players. But, as you say, at the end of the year, you look at it on paper, you look where they finish, none of these results come into account with injuries. It's just that's where they finished. And unfortunately, it's happened a few times now. Somehow, maybe it's just luck. Maybe their luck's got to change. But something has to change, or they're going to be also Wrens for a long time.
Great.
Club we spoke a little briefly about, or Grubby spoke a little bit briefly about, North Geelong. Start of the year, they were one of the ones touted to be a possible finish 5th or 6th neck of the woods. If games go to plan, they'll win the wooden spoon. Dale Smith, for a club like that was something that never saw coming. Can you put a finger on what's happened?
They're not playing good footy, Rob. That's probably the best thing. But as I said, you look through their list that they've had, and again was one of those sides you think would improve during the course of the season. Now, why it's happened, it hasn't. Things obviously haven't been as smooth as you would have liked in a football club. But to go through the season and not win a game of football would hurt North Geelong, I reckon, pretty deep, I think. And again, then they're a long way to come back from there. As I said, the blokes that are playing there this year, have they got the resolve to stay on, or do they go and try and find somewhere else to play? The incoming coach is...
That's the big one.
They get him appointed. Can they do it quickly so that they exactly know that they can go to the existing list and say, well, this is what we've got, this is who's coming, we think he can get this, this and this. Are you willing to stay on, or what are you going to do? So, again, they're in a similar position that they need to get something resolved, I would think, pretty quickly. The coach they had in line, I think, is now back at the Cooter Bowl. So
yes.
That's not going to help them. So he would have been good for them, because he's obviously a real people person that would have obviously had the ability maybe to drag some people to him because of his coaching, but what he brings to coaching. So, look, as I said, I'm not too sure what they've got in the pipeline, who they're actually looking at, but again, it would be one of those situations that they need to actually have that resolved fairly quickly so the club knows what they're doing next year.
Brad, you might be the wrong person to ask this question, but
Don't ask it.
Probably.
some of the word was that a lot of North Geelong's very good players commenced their pre-season in February. Modern footy, you can't do it.
Very early. That's very early
for
to start.
you.
Yes, for most. But no, it is true. And their biggest thing. Oh, look, as I said the day before, if you're looking at coach a club, would Aniki appeal to you? North Geelong would appeal to a few, because steeped in history, financially safe, and I think with their junior program that coming through, they can turn it around reasonably quickly. But you've got to get some more buy-in from your players. Look at who runs around their seconds every week. Some of their players that could actually help out in the ones and make them more competitive. They just don't. And I know people are entitled to retire and go, look, I'm not going to play senior footy anymore. But when your club's on its knees, as North are, on the field, it's a time you go, well, hang on, just for a year I can put my own, personal feelings or personal whatever preference aside, to help a club out, because they do lack leadership. They've lost Charlie Farrell for probably half the season. The Swennerson boys have been in and out and not playing, and it just makes it tough when you've got 6 changes every week. You're not going to win many games. It's as simple as that.
Look, you're right, but there is another little point of view in there for these blokes who are running around in the seconds. And let's take Rico.
Oh, I wasn't talking about him. He's 35. So.
Yeah, I know, but blokes like him, who you could be talking about to help out, he can't train.
No.
Now, a lot of clubs don't want to play blokes who can't train.
Yeah, you're right there, mate. You got that cold back again from No, but he's not probably not the one I'm talking about, mate. He's in his mid-30s. There's blokes in their 20s who can train, or if you're serious, like I go back even when Dale coached us at Belpost on the night, we had blokes who on shift work that had trained during the day. Yeah. So if you're serious about about helping the club and doing it, you'll find a way. Well, I think instead of making excuses.
The coaches I had in place, there's a couple of those blokes in the twos who, through work commitments, said they'll play, but they can only get to training every now and again. And the coach didn't want to play them. And I don't blame him for doing that. No,
neither do I. You set a culture.
But where their problem lies, and I'll probably get in trouble again like I did last time, the last 2 years, they've picked the wrong coaches.
Yep.
Right? And there's no disrespect to those two blokes. They had a go at it, and it didn't work. Hounslow, he tried pretty hard, and it didn't work. And then Michael Booth, he didn't work either. Right? And their system is like a lot of systems. They will put it out in the paper. They'll get their applicants. They'll interview their applicants and then choose the best applicant.
Yeah.
Right? Now, a lot of people do that, and sometimes it works.
Not often anymore.
Unfortunately, what you're getting is people that can actually interview very, very well and don't quite make it on game day. Right? So what they've got to do, and I've told Jason Abib this, even though he's no longer president, forget about putting it out, well, you might have to by constitution, put it in the bottom page of the Addy, which no one reads.
Independent, it comes in.
Put it out.
Harvey Norman's journal.
Norman's journal.
But don't worry about going and applying and interviewing place. Go out and bloody headhunt someone that you want, right? And you might get a few knockbacks, but eventually you'll get someone who you want, who you know can coach, and all of a sudden you're back on. Look at the way they've obviously played better since George and Buse and Jared Bryant is absolutely terrific as assistant coach.
Brilliant last year too, JP.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's got the time to do it full time. But those blokes have lifted their club. They've got a headhunt a bloke that can coach, that they know that can coach. Forget about these blokes that they don't know. They've got to headhunt someone.
It's in the same boat as Anarchy. I know, speaking to a couple of Anarchy people, there's a few of their ex-players that are running around in the GFL that they're interested in talking to, hoping they can bring players out with them.
Yeah.
Now, how that and North are the same. There's a big tie between North and North Shore and those sort of clubs. Now, I know North Shore aren't going great in the GFL, but you'd still think there'd be 6 players there that could quite easily come and play GDFL footy with their fitness.
Of course they could from that level, yes.
Yeah. So,
getting back to the cultural thing, Grubby, it was interesting when from outside of the league watching in while Belpost Hill had their dynasty in the firsts. North Geelong won about 7 seconds premierships, and they improved as the year went on in the seconds, which to me sends a pretty bad cultural message. Is that something that still sticks with the place a bit?
I don't know. Look, it's a hard question to answer. Like I can watch Werribee seconds. They're going to play finals.
we're watching them today.
And they're going to play finals. And I think they're on top. Was their second, I think. Which, whilst it's a great effort, it's not so much the fact that it's cultural. It could be the fact that they've got a lot of blokes who are good seconds players that aren't quite good enough to play senior football. And I think that's what you've got here at Werribee at the moment. Plus Blake Quarrier and Koutsamanis, who's best on the ground out here today, even though he's got a white girly haircut. Those blokes have stuck around to help. They've got kids in there. And, look, they're just not good enough for senior, so they've got a good second side. So it's not necessarily cultural, but at North Geelong at the moment with some of them in there, it might be a little bit.
Okay, Thompson, top of the ladder, take on Belmont Lions. It's not at Belmont, it's at Thompson, which means Belmont will be probably 5 or 6 goals worse off and on form during the year. But as a Thompson coach, do you sort of experiment a bit on a day like this? Do you still go hard at it? I notice Freeman's back in the side. Would he be just having a casual day to get a bit of match fitness? How do you approach one like this?
Well, there's no Troop, no Saligen, no Jackson McLeod. All out injured. So you're not going to play him with it too much, I wouldn't have thought. Obviously, Jacques come back last week after serving his suspension, his holiday, and kicked 7, so he slipped back into form pretty well. But you take out their centre forward, the centre half back, and then Jacko McLeod, talking to Mitch this morning, may not play for the rest of the year. So, there's a couple of big names that are out. And Belmont, as Mitch said, you're right, he's got his GM donut grubby. It's okay. As Mitch said at the start of the year, when the first game they played, and that's the best side they've played for 2.5 quarters. Now, 43 points up. Should never let that game go, but they did. But there's no Darcy Tripp this week to do the same thing. So, imagine a half-forward line of McLeod, Troop, and Jarks will be causing a lot of sides headaches. But when you got two of those out, it sort of opens the game up a bit. And Belmont will be right up for this challenge, but Thompson at home, knowing that they win, they finish top, they won't let it slip. But Lynchy's a very smart coach. He'll manage players through the game, I think, rather than resting him for weeks, especially got those blokes out as well. So if someone's a little bit tired and the game's almost in the beat, he'll start bringing blokes off and rotating them and playing in different spots. But I can't see Thompson dropping this one, quite simply because they want that top spot.
Well, they can afford that because they're going to get that top spot. I've had a look at it, and they will get top spot.
They should.
Well, they will. They will. They can afford to lose one game and they'll still get it on percentage. And that one game can only be Belpo Still.
There's only 4% between Belpo Still and Thompson.
He's trying to make up 4%, but it's only 4%, right? But it's not. It's about 60%, right?
No, it's not. It's 4%.
Yeah, and then
You're getting a mathematical lesson here.
right?
You want to fill us in on this?
Well, it's obviously somebody
pearls of wisdom
who does their research, and other people have got no idea. They will get 20% next week.
Oh, who they play next week?
Anarchy.
Well, there you go.
So the percentage is enough for them to finish on top spot. So they can afford to do that. If McLeod does come back and he's a bit underdone, right? You don't play him on a half forward flank. You play him in the forward pocket, and then you've still got a half forward line in Jarks, Troop, and Freeman.
Yeah.
And talk about Freeman having a nice, easy day. He does that every week and can kick 4 or 5
He just does it easy, doesn't he? He just does it easy.
So, yeah, they've got the luxury of being able to play McLeod back in the forward pocket and still have the most damaging half-forward line in the comp. So they will win today, obviously. As I say, they're only hiccup, maybe Belpo Still in the last game of the year. They will finish top, and if he wants to give blokes a rest, I've got no problems with that.
You can do it next week.
Dale,
and next week, yeah.
Dale, let's have a look at Belmont. Different path. They've brought in a couple of dual coaches, one from outside the club. Bet Vermeulen had been there for a while.
Played his juniors there.
How have you seen their year?
Well, as I said, they've been okay. They're competitive in most of the games they've gone out and played, and that's what they probably the difference for most of those sides. You've just got to be about there and been playing some good footy and stay in games to give yourself an opportunity. As we said, at home they're a far different side. They are a lot better side down there. It obviously suits them the way they play their game of football. When they go away, they're probably not quite as good. So that's probably something now that they need to work on and improve on. But if they can do that, who knows what could happen today. But I still think, again, Thompson have got far more to lose today than, as I said, even if they lose today, they've still got to win the next game to finish on top. But to be honest, with obviously the injuries that they've got and the concerns they may have, that week off might suit them better than anybody else at the present time that are in the top 5, because everyone else seems to be. Well, obviously, Belpo Still could be the same. They've obviously got a lot of injury as well. They would love to have that first week off come finals football. So, look, as I said, they'll win the game of football. They're too good a side. Belmont, as I said, I've been pretty good in what they've been able to put up for most of the season, and I hope that they can finish the season out as good as they've been up so far and stay with sides today. At three-quarter time, I can't see them being 30 or 40 points up against Thompson, but who knows? Footy can be a funny game, but they just need to keep working.
Is there a case for Belmont being a little bit frustrated in themselves for the fact that they've played good enough football to beat Belpo Still and Werribee, I suppose? They've been in games against good sides for a long, long time. Is there a case to be a bit frustrated to say, if we could have played that football every week, we could be challenging for fifth position?
Where have they played Belpo Still and beat them? At their home ground, Werribee at their home ground, and Thompson at their home ground.
But you get 9 games at your home ground.
That's what I'm saying. That's the good thing, and they've beaten 2 of them, and more than likely, if they hadn't had injuries in that Thompson game, all reports were they didn't have an interchange from three-quarter time on. So they could have quite easily beaten Thompson that day.
Yeah.
But again, they do that. But then when they travel away, they just can't.
Well, they're like Werribee.
Can't find
they
that.
got beat by 100 points here.
Yeah. So if you said to them, if they can win those 3 games and maybe lose to Inverleigh and someone else and win 3 or 4 away, they're right in the mix to play final football.
So they'd be a bit frustrated with that, but they'd be happy with what they've done.
Oh, absolutely.
But when they scrutinise it, you could look back and say, gee, we could have been a bit closer.
Yeah.
Grub, I'm going to ask you a question. I listened to the Sports Fix this morning, and you made a statement about Thompson and St Albans.
Yeah.
You reckon you're worried about their pace?
I am.
How would they look at that? I mean, you've got Jard Anderson in there who is reasonably quick.
On a wing, yeah.
So, but he's been going from here. Leighton Tholburn's been playing some fantastic
in the back line.
But he's been going for the middle as well now. So, I mean, blokes like Zach Blant who go hard and just go and get the ball and feed it out to everyone else, he's obviously not the quickest going around.
Neither is Tholburn, from what I can remember. But go on, yeah.
I was going to say, where do they change? How do they change and do that? Because that's a big issue on such a big ground.
Of course it is. Matter of fact, it can be a big an issue for a side to finish on top of the ladder and not win the flag. It can be a big issue because St Albans is unforgiven.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of players who played magnificent football during the year on the smaller grounds and just run out of gas and can't play on these big grounds. I'm not saying that Thompson, that will happen, but I just think Lynchy's got to find a couple of quick blokes. Maybe Freeman go in the middle for a little while. I think his biggest thing is pace through the middle doesn't matter if you've got the football. So that means, and they've got the best ruckman in the comp to give it to you, get the football and there's no problem. But when you haven't got the football, it can be a problem chasing through that middle. So that's I was only trying to look for little faults, little things that can make the competition even, whereas the top side could possibly get beat by the fifth side in Bannockburn, who have a stack of pace on a ground of that nature.
Yeah, no, I just listened with interest this morning. I know you talk about
you'd be the only one, but not many other people listen to it until I come on.
I listened to the whole show. But you talk about that Belpo still didn't see what they had was they chipped the ball around and they had Sean Lewis playing through the middle. That was his whole role, to run between half back and half forward and use his pace. And that horrible kicking style of his that didn't miss many targets. And you're right, that's the way you play St Albans.
Did you say Sean Lewis and pace?
Yeah, mate, if there's free beer and a pie, mate, he's the quickest bloke there.
You obviously didn't listen to that rubbish show before it, though, did you?
I did, actually. I did.
You would be the only one.
I did.
Grubby, before we carry on to the big game of the day other than today, just a quick look at East Geelong. I noticed they got 3 out injured today, the 2 Masters and McClellan, and Jaden Fanning still out, but the one I like coming back, Billy Andrew, he's back from overseas, he comes into the side today. They are just warming along nicely, and today they should really belt North Geelong, I imagine.
Well, you would think so, and I think the first thing you do with Billy Andrew is give him a kick up the arse for going overseas in the middle of the footy season.
And Jack Filet.
And Filet, I can't believe that.
Well, Filet come back through the twos, though.
Yeah, he did. He's a big back in. I don't know if Ali Marsh will be out for long. That was just that incident that happened last week that they end up reporting Kieran Fulton for it, which was a bit of a mockery, wasn't it, I think? But anyway, that's the way they go. I think East Geelong asked for the inquest, and I really hate that in football.
Because of the damage, maybe that's why they did it. I don't know.
Well, if he went in and clocked him, then they've got every right to do it. They've got a duty of care to do it. But from what I hear, the incident itself, they had no right to do it, really, because it was just accidental contact.
It happened in front of us.
Yeah, but he might be out like this week with concussions. He'll come back. I don't know what's wrong with Gordon Mars. He's been in and out. He
played last week and he actually played really well.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I don't know. But I would say that come finals, they'll all be available. They might go in, East Geelong, with a full side almost. And if that happens, they're going to nearly be my premiership. Well, as I said to you this morning, I'd love them to make the top 3 to do that. But this could be the first year in the history of the GDFL, 150 years, that the 5th side actually can win it.
Didn't Anarchy do it in 93?
Nah. Nah.
Didn't one of Belpo Still's flags come from 5th?
No, I don't think so. I can't remember any of them coming from 5th.
While you do a history lesson, let's focus on the big one today, the clash of traditional rivals at Inverleigh. It's important probably for Bannockburn if there any chance to make top 3, but Inverleigh definitely want to keep a roll on, and both sides hate losing against each other, so this should be a ripper. Who's going to win?
Well, I don't know. I can't believe we're not sitting out there right now. I don't know who the idiots that chose this game. But
can I read the text message you sent when we chose this game, mate?
No, because it's probably got some colourful language in it.
Yeah, let's run with that, shall we?
I think today is, well, I wrote it down in my book as one of the games for the rest of the year that can change. the spots in the 5. Inverleigh win and top 3. I think they're top 3 now.
They are, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they'll win next week. We'll know at 5 o'clock just how Werribee do play on this ground because they come back to Werribee here the last game of the year, and that's not a lay down misère unless they get flogged today. And Bannockburn, if Bannockburn win, then they can still make top 3. Bannockburn, believe it or not, because they'll win their next 2 from what I can remember. And if one of the other sides happen to drop, Bellpost Hill play Thompson, they can sneak into 3rd. I don't think they will. Matter of fact, with percentage, they may not, but that's how interesting it is. And if it was at Bannockburn, I think we all sit back and say this will be a real close one. Out at Inverleigh, I just love the way Inverleigh had so many injuries. They lost games they normally would have won, and they just stuck at it. They didn't panic. They didn't, go for the doctor. They just kept going and saying these blokes will come back in. They did. They didn't rush them back in. When they came back in, they just played, quarter here, quarter there. And I just got this funny feeling coming up to the finals, they might be at the best form they've been in their year. And that's what Bannockburn have done over the last couple of years. Haven't been as impressive during the home and away season and have played their best footy in August, September. And I think Inverleigh are heading that way. And I just think they'll be strong enough at home to beat Bannockburn and I think if Bannockburn lose today, their top 3 aspirations may well be gone.
Well, they finish with Corio and West.
Yeah, I knew they won't lose their last 2.
Dale, get off the fence. Come on. Who do you want to win?
It's for the Dale
Who do I
Smith
want
Cup,
to win?
isn't it?
Want
both
to
of
win
them
out of
sacked
Inverleigh
him,
and
so you don't
Bannockburn.
I want Bannockburn to win.
Yep.
Bannockburn didn't sack him.
Bannockburn to win, and that's not going to happen because Inverleigh are playing some good footy now, and I think Hetherington, we spoke about coming up in the cars, not playing, and he's pretty important to the way they structure up at Bannockburn in relation to both their forward setup and also that little bit of heat out in the middle of the ground if they need to, although Fulton did play a bit more time in the middle of the ground last week, so that's not an option, but I still think if they're going to win the game of football. The other thing we did speak about was young Elzinger had a great year of footy. He played more in a midfield role last week, and I just reckon they Bannockburn robbed themselves of an actual forward goal kicker because he's very good around the goals. He gets a kick within 30 or 40. He nails those. For me, he was too far up the ground. Jai Robinson played the reverse role of that. He seemed to be more forward, but couldn't get himself involved in the game. So I'm hoping that goes back the other way today. That's they need to have as many goal kickers up forward and put as much pressure on the Inverleigh defence as they possibly can. But as I said, I still think Inverleigh probably win at home. They probably a bit unlucky not to win the last game at Bannockburn with a couple of stray shots late in the game. But as we know, football can be a funny thing, and when balls get inside your head and people trying to kick them, it just makes
kick their head.
Yeah. Well, just Tuke Miller, he kicked it away on the head last week. So football can be a great leveler. So let's just hope that everyone's on their game out there today. And both sides play their very best football and put up a great game.
Well, Dale,
We've got 4 in here today. Is it all right if I go over to the Werribee boys and just stay there? Even the Belfast Hill boys and stay there.
be great for us too.
What's with the socks?
I don't know. They're both one's
Tell you
wearing
about
purple,
it.
one's
It's the
mental health.
Read the Play round, the mental health round of Read the Play is an organisation that was started up by
Kempy's.
Kempy
huge.
Engineering, and the manager David Langley was the man that got it going a while ago and has played an important part local footy. And this is a focus round from that right across football in the Geelong region. And
did they get a choice of what colours they could use, or was
I don't know whether they had to toss for colours or whether they just got a set. But we got Bellpost Hill wearing white, red, and blue jumpers with orange socks. And I'm not sure that the green and yellow goes with purple. Mark, you're a bit of a fashion connoisseur, are you? What do you think?
I don't wear socks, mate. You don't wear socks with thongs.
Anyway, hey, we might go back to Steelo before...
But quickly, before we do, Dale, you've got your wish, mate. Look at the name side. Jai Robertson roving. Liam Elzinger in the forward pocket.
Ain't good for that.
Well, there you go.
It might have been something they're just trialling last week.
More
I'm not
great
too sure,
coaching from... speaking of great coaches, there's one just wandering past the box right now. Justin Tarr.
Great coach.
The Bellpost Hill coach is just wandered past.
Mate, do you realise that he's the only Bellpost Hill coach in the last 20 years that hasn't won a flag?
He was about to speak, but his lips moved and nothing come out.
He got upset the other week when I'd had him out to the top 5 full forwards in Bellpost Hill history.
No. I tell you what, talking about full forwards, don't expect a good game from forward today, I can tell you. I've had a word to him, and I said to him, Will, just think about the worst game you've ever played and go in and play today, son.
Still, I will go back to you and clear some sponsorship announcements, but we come back and pontificate on the match of the day here, Werribee Centrals versus Belpost Hill. This is 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football. We're delighted to have Fairhaven Homes as one of the many sponsors of this GDFNL coverage with 94.7 The Pulse. Grubby and Mark Brady, who's just gone. Who's going to win today and why?
Before you do that, you won't believe this, right? I was in Lara last week, and I went past Corridale. You ever heard of Corridale?
Yep. They're sheep.
Well, Corridale's in Lara.
Yeah.
All the displays and things. So I wandered through. So I have a look at all these, and there were some beautiful homes.
Huh.
But I'll tell you, Fairhaven Homes, the floor plans, the exterior of it.
He's looking to build a new house, you know that.
I'll tell you what, forget the rest. Just go and buy from the best. Fairhaven Homes. Don't forget the name. Fairhaven Homes. What was the question?
Who's going to win and why?
Werribee will win and win well here today, obviously. What else am I going to say? I coerced the boys into coming down here even when I wasn't here, which was, I thought, a brilliant effort. Smithy gets sucked in every time. I offered him breakfast and he had to work. I don't know. You would think Belpost still on form would win because they're sitting second on the ladder and Werribee is sitting sixth. So in that situation, you would think Belpost Hill would win. You look at their numbers, and their numbers are down. Belpost Hill, their seconds are only 16 to pick from on Thursday night. Pagey, as we just saw, played, and which affects their senior side. I think Matty James is back in. Well, I tell you what, I reckon I'm skinnier than him by the looks of things. Jaden Ettridge is back in, and I'm skinnier than him too.
And a lot shorter.
And a bit shorter. Well, not that much shorter.
A lot shorter.
But when you look at Belpost Hill, they just keep going. They play the same footy, and they're hard to beat. Werribee actually beat them up there. I don't know whether that matters. Look, I suppose the head says Belpost Hill probably should win this, but bugger that. Let's go with the heart. Werribee by 3 points.
Brady, what do you think?
Clearly, Grubby's going to go to the coach's box at some stage today. That's why we're here for entertainment.
Yeah,
Look, to me,
Bucky's not there no more.
oh, you got rid of him.
Might get a punch in the nose.
Look, for me, I think with too much to play, Belpost still will win. Watching Ren the other week, Ren Lovett against Banno the other week, they got beaten soundly, but he was clearly their best player and just dominates through the middle. And if he gives the same sort of service today, we're in for a belter.
And Dale Smith, premier caller of local footy.
Haven't even got the
away.
memorial clock out yet, but doesn't matter, Eric. We'll get it out now. The ball from Daly wins the ruck contest, goes after himself, picks the ball up, needs to get rid of it. It's tackled, had plenty of opportunity, did get rid of it, was tackled, and the ball is now still in the middle of the ground where we're looking for a ball up to take place. So we're just waiting now for that to unfold. Daly and all love it. Go both out the ball. Picked up there, cleared away there. Herman got the ball on his boot, goes towards centre wing. Marcus taken out there. Flacavento. He takes the mark and goes back to Herman. So Herman now on the run. Player outside. We'll use him. And the mark has been taken out this time by Jones. Again, the ball movement is very quick, and that's a precise kick into the hands of Whitney. Can run and go if he wants to. Loads up. He goes long back towards the goal square. Player in front was Sutton, but behind. Well done there. Jaden Ettridge just used the body. And he has taken a mark and will go back and kick the first goal, you would think, from that distance.
You wouldn't believe this. I spoke to Jaden Ettridge before the game and he was a bit, I'm in. I said, mate, if you use your body well here today, you'll kick a field. Well, have a look at that. Do I know football?
So Jaden Ettridge from about the top of the goal square. I tell you what.
Points, I meant.
He's obviously done something wrong there. He's got the curse of the box here. And it's going to be situation where it's going to be a kicking in, and Culliver he has run down. Is that a hamstring, do you think, Spider?
Ask him as he goes past.
I will. But I'm going to do the commentary. The ball comes out quickly and the mark has been taken out there. Gibson goes a mark inside a forward 50. So Gibson now goes back across the goal, back into the hands of Sutton. And Sutton now, he goes wide up. Kick was dangerous. It's been intercepted there. Ettridge did good work to get to the contest. Now he goes after it, picks the ball up, got the handball out to Yates. Little chip up over the top will go towards James. And actually, it's not James, it's Tyler Skoronsky. Skoronsky, and he's going to take the mark, and he will go back. Left footers, natural kickers of goal, they tell me, so he should put this one straight through the middle. And
those we can officially tell the world that Nick Costello probably isn't going to play too much more footy this afternoon.
It looked like a hammy the way he was wandering
he's
off.
Definitely
or a hip.
dragging the leg.
He looked very disgruntled as he walked
Werribee
past.
comes in, kicks that goal. Umpire this time does not move one bit, and he has kicked the first goal of the afternoon. Belpost Hill, they are 1-1. They lead Werribee, who are yet to score. Here on the Fairhaven Homes first quarter scoreboard.
Yeah, I tell you what, the last week against Belmont kicked the first 7 and Werribee weren't in it. And I tell you what, they look a little bit disinterested even in this early part of the game.
Disappointing, mate, because they win today. They're still in.
No, they're not.
They're still about that, mate. You don't know. Footy's a funny game.
No, it's not that funny. They would have to beat East at East. And no, sir.
What, they can't?
No, impossibility. Impossibility. Don't tell me they can.
God, I hope they beat them next week.
I tell you what, if they can't beat Winch and Belmont away, they cannot beat East away.
So ball with Daly. This time he's over the top. Ball's picked up again by Whitney. Got the handball out. Crennan laid the tackle. Umpire said incorrect disposal. Tyler Crennan is the recipient of the free kick. Centre wing on the far side of the ground. They've moved the centre circle across there. Grub, what's the story there? Just a bit of fresh ground or something. Ball gets out the back, running onto it. And the ball is going to be pushed through. Caleb basically sees it through for a minor score to the Werribee side. They move to that solitary behind. Plays on quickly now from the full-back position. Gets the 1-2. Runs to the half-back line. Handballs over the top. Put his teammate under pressure, but they work the ball out nicely. Herman got plenty of it so far. Kicks back towards centre wing. Mark also taken out the far side. So Dill Whitney now. Little chip up over the top once again. I think that's Yates. I tell you what, it's hard to pick him up with those socks. They make them look different for some reason. I don't know why, but it's... So Yates now from centre wing, he loads up and goes into their half-forward line. Out the back, Jones couldn't take the mark. Actually, it wasn't Jones that time. It was Andrews. And the ball has gone over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw-in. So we've done just over 3 minutes first quarter. It is Belpost Hill 1-1, Werribee 1 solitary behind.
Well, don't expect things to get any better because I can't see anyone from sitting and the jumpers are making it terrible.
We don't expect anything.
No, thanks. Ren Lovett does get that. Tap down very quickly, coming through, trying to burst through the pack.
No. Gee, where was the prior opportunity there?
Said, you've held it too long, and I think that was a bit stiff. So it's Daly, the big ruckman, hand passes quickly across there to a teammate, kicks down a centre wing, fumbled and gone out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in Right underneath the scoreboard, the Fairhaven home scoreboard, which goes Bellpost Hill 117.
What?
Centurions 1 point.
Who are the umpires,
It's a
Grub?
grubbication scoreboard.
So the ball's been thrown in. Daly gets it down in towards the front of the pack. Players coming through. That's a quick little hand pass by Carlton. He kicks it across the body, but Dylan Whitney has stayed back off the pack, and he's on his own and takes a mark unattended, just waiting to look for the best options. Gets around the man on the mark, that's Crennan. Kicks down, that's a terrible kick, and goes straight to Carlton. He snips it in the middle of the ground to Miller. The veteran breaks a tackle, breaks the second one, then kicks down into the forward line, but that is an awful kick, and Bo McNamara reads it beautifully. Marks on his chest, kicks out to the centre wing. The umpire's blown the whistle.
Got to go back over his mark. By the looks of it.
It's a free kick to
he's got a free kick
Werribee.
the other way. Well, no one saw that.
Unless it was a downfield, there is no other logical explanation for that. And Reece Prismal, the coach of Werribee Central side, has the ball. Bo McNamara is standing on the 50-metre arc. I don't think Prismal can kick that far, although he's fancying himself.
Tell you what, he could have a few years back.
Oh, yeah.
Prismal now running in. He goes around, gets a bit of hook. It's a long, long kick, and it is a long point. Just missed to the right. So that's the second point for the Centurions. They are 2 straight behinds, 1-1-7 on the Fairhaven home scoreboard. And we are 5 minutes and 25 seconds into the first quarter.
Let me have a guess at these umpires. Brendan Beck, Nicholas Clark and Tim Ellis.
Yep. I know Pluto. I coached him for years at Belmont.
The ball from Basely comes out quickly, goes to Whitney. Whitney goes back towards centre wing. Mark not taken out there on the far side. Again, they play on. They bring the ball back into the half-forward line, but the mark has been taken out there. Herman gets the handball away into the hands of to Whitney. He looks inside, found McNamara, and he plays on and goes long into their forward line. But again, Bellpost still playing behind. Mark is going to be taken, and Werribee side will transfer play back towards centre wing. Commentary side into the hands of Prismal, goes up over the top, and the mark has been taken. This time out there by Chesterman. So Chesterman now will be called to play on by the umpire and goes now. Little short kick goes into their half forward line over the head of Scotland, picking the ball up. Whitney once again got the handball out. Not too sure who he was looking for. Stevenson runs onto the ball. He picks the ball. Actually, that wasn't Stevenson that time. That
Stevenson was the bloke
Dingle.
who missed here.
That was it, Dingle. He goes the handball back in towards Chesterman. He goes to the half forward line. Wall now running through the centre half forward position. That's Stevenson this time, isn't it? And he takes the ball. Oh, McDonald it was, sorry. Yeah, that's it. McDonald's a blondie, isn't he? So
yep. Some big raps on Stevenson down here in the back line from Werribee.
So the ball now thrown up at the centre forward position. Love it. Taps the ball out. Again, back into the hands there of Herman, who kicks round the body, goes back into the centre square. Coming up, Sutton. Did he take the mark? Umpire said no. He's called play on. And with no prior opportunity, he will come in and take the ball, throw a ball up.
I think it touched the ground after he took the first grab. I think it just touched the ground.
Umpire's right there, Grubb. So
yeah.
Shades of Mitch Stark, Spider.
I was going to say Ben Stokes.
So the ball now back with the umpire, throws it up. This time Lovett gets the ball out. Ball is picked up, handballs outside by Fantella. They keep to run the ball back towards James. He's back in the groove now. Pick the ball up, goes to Herman. The number of possessions already. James tries to run onto the ball. Prismal's there. Goes back into the hands of Chesterman. He handballs through the contest. Coming through McDonald. He got a heavy hip and shoulder there.
Oh, I thought that was fair.
So
it was probably
I
fair.
Thought that was hip and shoulder. Did you see any head?
It's hurt him.
It's rocked him a little bit. Goes to Culver. Goes out wide, and Crennan will take the mark on centre wing. Forward of it now and runs and kicks ball in long. Goes into their full forward position. Ball gets out the back. Flacavento knocks the ball back towards the goal. Basically takes the safety and runs it through for another minor score. They move themselves now. We're talking Werribee Central's to 3 behinds. Bellpost still 1-1.
Basically, Werribee Central's top scorer.
Herman's
very scrappy.
Comes out of that line, kicks wide to centre wing and finds a teammate there. That Whitney kicks into the middle of the ground, making position at the back of the pack. Yates takes a very, very good mark. He looks completely different without his vertical stripe jumper. Ball comes back in, and that's a very well intercepted by Daly across to Miller. That is an awful kick by Miller trying to get out. And Bo McNamara takes a chest mark. He's just outside the 50. Reece Prismal on the mark. McNamara will be looking for a short pass, no doubt. He's kicked it up high into the pocket where there's a leading Will Ford at the front of the pack. Can't quite hold the mark. Wasn't Ford. It's come a kick across the body there, but it's landed in the goal square. And waiting back there is Daly for Werribee. Kicks into the pocket and finds Sutton.
Clancy McKay.
Clancy McKay.
That's who it was.
Sutton has found Chesterman. They're still inside the 50-metre arc, defending grimly the Werribee side. Another short kick. Hasn't found the mark. Landed short of Prismal. Ball's been stripped from him by McNamara. Left foot kick, but Sutton has waited back. And he kicks out into the pocket now and finds Stevenson.
Just like a calf.
Stevenson for Werribee kicks down the line. He's going to bounce short of a teammate there in Scotland. Tries to control it, but it beats him over the boundary line. Right in front of the Werribee Central's coach's box. Fairhaven home scoreboard says 3 points to Werribee Central's 1-1, 7 to Belpost Hill. 9.5 minutes into the first quarter.
Looks like Cozzie's coming back on and he's got the calf heavily strapped. Grub.
Yeah, he's going to come back on.
He is coming back on for a trial. That's a beautiful bit of ruck work there by Dwyer to the running Tyler Crennan. That is a magnificent goal to the Werribee Central side. They hit the front. 139, 117 on the Fairhaven home scoreboard.
Well, it's been scrappy, as somebody just said. And yeah, it has been scrappy. I don't think Werribee wanted scrappy. I think they wanted moving the ball really cleanly, beautifully. They haven't done that to this date, but that was a beautiful bit of football. It just shows Paddy Daly's getting experience in the ruck and he's become a pretty good ruckman, and he's hit it down to probably Werribee Central's best player over the last 2 years in Tyler Crennan. He kicked a beautiful goal.
He's on top at the moment, Daly. He's, I think Lovett might have won one tap. He's won the rest of them, so he's given him first use, mate. And of course, said Tyler Crennan is a sensational footballer, and he's not going to miss those ones on the run, is he?
No. Very, very good kid.
Costello's gone deep for Belpost Hill and probably stay there while that calf's been tested. Daly again wins it, but coming through is James. Hand passes across to teammate there. Kicked forward, and that is another good mark. This time it's Andrews in the forward pocket for Belpost Hill. Looking for some options. He's probably a little bit too far out. He's kicked to true centre half forward, looking for and finding a leading Will forward.
Kick.
Great lead and a very, very good kick to find him. He's going to have a shot from goal. He'll probably kick from 30 metres out directly in front. They're currently 2 points behind on the Fairhaven home scoreboard. And the Panthers fans will be fancying a lead back after this kick from Will Ford, who I imagine is still the leading goal kicker in the competition.
Him and Zach Smith are on 50. So I believe, from reading the stats.
Another half century. So Ford it is, directly in front, 30 out. We've just gone 11.5 minutes into the Fairhaven Homes first quarter. This to put them back in front.
Stay off for a while, Gatesy. Stay off for a while,
So the ball leaves the foot and the umpire has not twitched. Straight over the top of his head. 2-3-15 Belpost, sorry, a 2-1-13 Belpost Hill, Werribee 1-3-9. We have gone 12 minutes into the Fairhaven Homes first quarter.
It's a thing that the Central's rules will have to attend to very quickly. If Paddy Daly's going to keep winning the tap-outs, they can't let blokes like Matty James run through and get it out as easily as he did. They've got to get in a position where he can hit the ball to his own players. I watched English in the Bulldogs. He doesn't hit it to his players all the time either, but they seem to, because they've got Bontempelli and those blokes, they can get away.
They know where they're going.
Just let me add, that was a great kick to Will Ford.
Absolutely.
Couldn't stop that.
So ball back in the middle of the game. Daly over the top. He taps it down. It's picked up there by James, and he puts it on the left boot. Daly taps it back to advantage the Werribee side. Scotland's got his head over the ball, sits on the top of it. Now he might be in trouble. Umpire said no. Umpire will now come in and have another ball up, not too far from the centre circle.
Grubby, is he the brother of Heath?
Yes.
So the ball now thrown up in that contest. Fantella over the top, go outside and has a running player, and Jones outside. Crennan in hopper's duty, goes long into the forward line, looking for his teammate. And Andrews a one-hander, and he has taken the mark. And he can go back now and have a look at the goals. Josh Andrews.
Great use of the body, Dale. Perfect use.
He obviously left his socks at home, I think.
Yeah, well, that's the second time that Sutton's been outmanoeuvred by a bloke nowhere near as big as him. I don't know if they've got anybody else, but I think Sutton's better up forward.
It's been a good pick-up for him since he came across from St Mary's.
Yeah.
So Andrews now comes in, kicks from about 35 metres out, bit of an angle. We get a good look at it. He's offline originally from the very start, and it's through for a minor score. So Belpost Hill now to 2-2. Werribee on the 1-3. And Culver, as he does for the Werribee side, goes back to do the kicking in duties from full back. A little chip out to the back pocket. And it's found his mate there. I think that's Murphy, is it? He's just ambling. He's not too sure where he's going to go, but he's going to put himself under a little bit of pressure now. He's going to have to come back across the goal. There has to be a good kick, and will be, because it's found Culliver once again. He plays on now, links the ball outside, goes out towards the half-forward line. Bell Post Hill win possession of the ball through Jones, gets the handball back through some legs, picked up out there, and again, it's back through Culliver, who brings the ball back into the middle of the ground. Good contest there, McNamara, and also the opposition coach there in Prismal. Ball runs through the middle of the ground. It's picked up and cleared away back into their forward line by Herman, but a kick went astray, and Culliver, reading that nicely, has taken the mark and can settle things down for the defence. He goes short. Again, that kick not that great. Ball was into the hands of Watt, got the handball away back to Culliver, so they run through Carlton now from centre wing, kicks the ball out wide, looking for Scotland, leads in the race for the ball, handballs over the top. He didn't have support there, but it's straight into the hands of Basely. He gets around a couple, handballs over the top, goes to Fantella. He tried to give it back to Basely, got rid of it, and again, a bit of pressure being applied out there, and the ball has found its way over the boundary line. We'll have a throw-in on the far side. As we said, it's 2-2-14 to the Bell Post Hill side, leading Werribee at 1-3-9.
Battle of the half-backs at the moment, isn't it? There's been some ordinary forward thrusts.
Yes, definitely. Daly again wins it down, but it's Whitney who picks it up, gets it to Herman. He kicks across into the forward line, coming through there strongly for the Werribee side as Miller hand passes it to no one, intercepting again. It's Morton there who grabs it. It gets it across to Ford. Ford kicks and finds his teammate there in Jones. He kicks forward, and there in the forward line is Josh Andrews. 20 metres out, directly in front, and should kick Bell Post Hill third for the afternoon. Although we said that earlier in the game when Jaden Ettridge was lining up. So we might just wait a little bit longer, I think.
Very good build up there, and just the pressure turned the ball over, but it's just been very scrappy across half back. There's no direction in kicking.
So Andrews kicks this time. The umpire did a little bit of work, but he's liked it. And it is the third goal to the Panthers. They are 3-2-20. Werribee Central stuck on 1-3-9. 16 minutes into the Fairhaven Homes first quarter.
I find it hard to believe that when you full forward, like Will Ford goes up the ground, I find it hard to believe where the structure comes from when you can leave a bloke 40 metres out on his own and then another one 25. You know, but I must say, Jimmy Barton looks lovely in those orange socks.
He does. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but Grubby, if you had to watch, they both ran back towards the goal square, and the Werribee bloke took his eyes off the ball and kept running, and Andrews just turned around and stood his ground, 20 out. And
But what about the first one here?
well, that was just, you can either say one bloke cheated or one bloke was ball
one
chasing.
bloke sitting on his own. The other bloke had another bloke to pick up.
So Daly from the middle of the ground's giving it to Chesterman. Chesterman long into their forward line. Stagger tries to get the spoil down. Also there's Flaccavento. Ball runs back towards the goals. It's going. Good pick up there and cleared away. Reckon that may have been Herman that got the ball outside. Outside to Yates. A good strong mark inside or just down the forward 50 or defensive 50 for Bell Post Hill. And he will look to hold things up for Bell Post Hill. Options back inside. He's called to play on by the umpire now and goes long. Back out towards centre wing. Daly's out there. It's a big target. He kicked it straight to him and he's taken the mark. Handball goes outside. That wasn't all that great. Ball's now been in dispute, and it's put a bit of pressure being applied out there because Bell Post still definitely have numbers around the contest, but they're equal to it. They're talking Watt from Centrals kicks the ball back into their half-forward line. Mark not taken out there by Stevenson into the hands of Scotland. Back towards the goal square. Out the back, the ball will come. Linehan Cunningham on the left boot, spins around, kicks that goal. And he is just off long by the looks of it. 3-4 A
How would you know? How would you know?
Well, I'm not too sure the goal umpire didn't indicate too quickly there, but anyway, he didn't protest, so it must have been right.
No, he missed it by a long way.
So it's 1-4 now to the Werribee side, 3-2 Bell Post Hill. We have Fairhaven Homes. We have ticked over nearly 18 minutes.
Basically has the ball as he normally does, kicks out. And on the far side there, Fantella has the ball, the veteran. That is an awful kick. Terrible kick. That's going to his team's going to get a second crack at it, which they have. Comes back into the middle for them, and it's Bryans who is a pretty good player for them this year. He gets it, but poor disposal. The ball is comes out to Herman. He kicks across the body near the boundary line. Umpire's blown the whistle over the line. It's gone. Just along from the Fairhaven home scoreboard, 20 Bell Post Hill, 10 Werribee Centrals, and we're now nearly 18 and a half minutes into the Fairhaven Homes quarter. Lovett again. This time Lovett's got it down. It's Whitney who's run onto the ball, can't quite control. He's been tackled but gets it quickly across to Herman kicks into the forward line over the head of the pack. Coming out is Ettridge trying to control the ball. Got it now at last. Quick kick across the body, kicking into space to give Andrews a bit of a chance at it. No, it's not Andrews. It's gone over the boundary line though. It's beat young Zane Jones over the line. We'll have a boundary throw in. It's about 40 metres around from Bellpost Hill goal. They'll be looking to build on this.
And it was a bit remiss of me with that big mark from Jack Yates to say it could be a contender for the Morris Finance Homes mark of the day.
Magnificent. Daly again this time gets it down. Players desperately trying to get their hands on the ball. Daly's got it again. A big sweeping hand pass. Gets it away from the pack. Yates picks up the crumb though. Gets it across to Baseley on the left foot. He kicks into true centre half forward position. Players milling around trying to get hold of the ball. Plenty of them got it. I think the umpire is going to let it go. He has indeed. It's come out of the back of the pack. Watt gets it. Or he's thrown to the ground as he kicks the ball. The umpire said that was okay. Timmy Barton's got it. He hand passes into the clear. Baseley tries to get a hand on it. Tackled there very quickly early on. Baseley's come through again, been dragged to the ground.
Oh.
The umpire said you held it too long, and that is a very ordinary decision, I think.
Yeah, I don't like that one either.
So we have McDonald for Werribee kicks to a lead of Linehan, Cunningham, and the key forward has taken a mark. Slight angle, but he'd be only 30 metres out when he kicks the ball, and this will keep his side in touch. They're trailing by 10 points at the moment, as we just crossed the 20-minute mark of the Fairhaven Homes first quarter. So Linehan, Cunningham, very measured approach. Wobbles in, it leaves the foot, and the goal umpire hasn't moved again.
It doesn't move.
But I think that's a behind, and it is. He's missed to the right.
It disappoints me when those decisions happen.
Yeah.
It can turn a game. That no one had really. There's no option to get the ball out. But anyway.
So Baseley has it now in the square for Bellpost Hill, looking for options. Everyone's running towards us on commentary side. That's a beautiful little kick by Baseley and found Jones just on the 50-metre arc. He's looking for options now. There's plenty of Bellpost Hill players screaming for it. So Jones now kicks long down the line. It's Lovett and Daly. No one takes the mark. Comes across to Miller. He kicks quickly forward. Punched away from Crennan. Lovett bursts through. It's Yates. Sorry, bursts through the pack. But balls come forward. That is a very clever mark from Jaden Ettridge again. Hand passes inside to the quick-moving James. He kicks to centre half forward. He'll be looking for, and he will be finding his teammate there. Flacavento. That's Jordan. He kicks long and
there
finds
it is again.
A teammate on his own in the square.
What is it these days? You just run around and do what you want and not pick anybody up down there.
Yep.
That's 3 times.
So Will Kerrins has the ball in the goal square. He'll kick from directly in front and has a chance to extend this Bellpost Hill lead. They're 3-2-20 at the moment. Straight off the boot, he's happy. 4-2-26 they are. Werribee Central's 2-4-16. And we've gone 22 minutes into the Fairhaven Homes first quarter.
Well, what I've been doing is I forgot that you two were commentating and Spider was special comments, and I've been hogging it. So, Spider, away you go, son.
I've got nothing to say, Grub. I really it's you've hit the nail on the head, Grub. There's been 3 forward attacks there, and 3 times there's been people unmarked. And you've got a bloke 35, 48. You're half a chance that he misses. You whack an easy kick into the goal square. You don't miss from the goal square.
Yeah, but what I want to know is where he come from and who didn't follow him down.
Well, again, I've got to see the scoreboards right now. It's 1-5-11. It wasn't 2-4-16. Let's jump ahead. But look,
So back in the middle we go. This time Lovett gets the ball down. It's going to be cleared away there. Carlton gets the ball from the middle of the ground, goes long into their half-forward line. We're actually beyond the half-forward line. The ball gets out the back. Flacavento, he went under the ball, tapped it out the back. That was okay. Into the hands of Basely, got the handball away. And a little bit of pressure being applied out there now. Handball comes out. I'm not too sure. That's what the umpire's seen. Good call.
He paid
and he has paid
and 50. And 50.
And it's going to go to McDonald.
No, he's not. I
He's
thought
not
he
going to
was.
pay 50. He might have staged it. He's tried to stage for a free kick up here, so maybe he just staged it.
So McDonald now from the forward pocket. An opportunity here just to close things up a little bit for the Werribee side. A goal here, very handy. Taking all the time he needs. So McDonald now, left footer. Probably not the right side. That looks okay off the boot. The umpire looks straight back over her head, and she said that is a goal. They have their second now. They move to 2-5 Werribee. They trail Bellpost still on 4-2. We're ticking towards 24 minutes. Fairhaven Homes, first quarter scoreboard.
A little bit of a couple little stages there from McDonald. If you blokes remember, when we did the game up at Bellpost Hill, he kicked the first goal of the game and got another kick a bit later on and got a couple more free. So this umpire's awake to him because I think he might have staged it and he didn't pay it, either of them.
Should be reported for staging there, shouldn't he, mate?
Well, you can be now these days, which is an absolute joke, but you can be.
He's got the Hayden Ballantines about him, Grubby. Daly wins that tap out again. Yates runs onto it for Bellpost Hill. Can't get the kick away, tackled immediately. Chesterman does a very good job to get it forward for his team. Players jump on top of it. I think we're forced to have a ball up now. At 60 metres out from Werribee Central's goal, still inside the centre square, but they are a little bit forward. Daly and Lovett again. Lovett this time gets it down to no real advantage. Prismal picks up a crumb. Quickly gets it across to a teammate. Coming through again, it's Prismal who kicks very well into the forward line. There's a wonderful kick. And Kai Patiage has taken a mark in the forward pocket. He's probably going to kick from about 45 metres and a 45-degree angle. With a number 1 on his back and a helmet on his head and a beautiful pair of purple socks to go with his pink boots. He's the modern player, epitomised right there, Dale, isn't he? So here he comes. He's a left footer. He kicks it. It's leaving his boot straight, and it stays straight. And unfortunately, that's no good because he picked the wrong line to start. 1 behind only. 2 goals, 6-18. The Centurions, Bellpost Hill 4-2-26. That is 25 and a half minutes into the Fairhaven Homes first quarter.
Good to see the goal umpire move, mate.
Yeah, I know you're a full forward, but you've probably played some time in the ruck at times.
Yes.
Paddy Daly can't stand that close to Ren Lovett.
No, he can't.
He's got to come back, doesn't he, and get the jump.
Use his height.
Yes.
So basically from the fullback position, he goes out wide, far side of the ground, in front. Carlton couldn't take the mark. Ball runs over the boundary line. We will have a throw-in which will take place outside forward 50.
And unfortunately, I'm going to have to tell him.
Oh, grub.
So ball just short of centre wing. Lovett and also Daly do the ruck work. Daly gets the ball down again. Lovett did some little bit of tap-out work there. Goes back to the half-forward line with a kick. Mark not taken out there. Runs back towards the boundary line. Culliver taps it further afield. Was it inside the play? No, it wasn't. It's run over the boundary line. And it is going to be thrown in on the far side. Centre wing. Was that a no?
I think it was a definite no.
Looks like no to me.
In a few more words than no.
So on centre wing, the ball thrown back in. And it's front position. Daly over the back, wipes the ball down, runs towards Crennan. Picked up there, Carlton. He couldn't pick it up. Crennan left it behind also. Bellpost Hill emerged through Whitney. He goes short into the half-forward line. Again, Marcus not taken. Andrews now leads in the race with the ball. Left it behind, unfortunately. Went back and tried to get it. Again, has support now. Whitney back on the left boot, goes in short. I'll tell you what, don't move, Jaden Ettridge. I'll just hit you right in the chest and you can go back and shoot for goal. Racked up a few points last week, didn't he, Spider?
Yeah, he had a fair day out, didn't he? 240 odd.
Big Foster.
Not a bad day. Not a bad day.
No, that was a couple of weeks ago.
But there you go. There's a good play again. Dill Whitney again. He's just. I think we've seen him a couple of weeks ago, Dale. We thought his kicking was just off, wasn't it?
Yep.
Today it's been sensational.
So Ettridge now from 35 metres out, directly in front of goal. He doesn't need too many to correct his last shot. He has put that one through. 5-2 now to Bellpost Hill, 2-6 to Werribee, and we have gone almost 28 minutes. Fairhaven Homes first quarter scoreboard.
It may look a little bit different out there, but McDonald come through there at 100 miles an hour, was going to the next option. I just thought if he moves, he could probably get Dill Whitney before he gets rid of the football. So a lot of it's decision-making, young blokes. Ettridge is killing them, of course. and they're the things that they need to improve on.
Yep. Daly beautifully to Carlton, and he kicks into the forward line, but going back to take a very strong mark under a lot of pressure. Caleb Baseley.
3 votes, Rob.
Well, he's already looking like Dale's not going to look like a deal at all when he gives him at least one this afternoon.
And a real prospect for Team of the Year, I can tell you.
Oh, yes, no doubt about that. Baseley's kick out to that, but that's a lovely mark coming over the back of the pack. Is that young Brad Carlton who did that?
Yep.
Yeah. He's kicked back to true centre half forward players leading out, come over the back of the pack. Werribee Centrals can't get the ball. They've got it now, though. Lovely little effort by Patiage across to Crennan. Crennan into
Oh, no.
Chesterman, who gives the ball
Well, she
to a
moved that
teammate who
time.
kicks it just after the side.
I thought it must have been muddy up
Would have hit
there.
her in the head.
So we've hit quarter time here. Fairhaven Homes first quarter is done and dusted. 2 goals, 6-18 are the Centurions. Bellpost Hill 5-2-32. Dale, who's kicked the goals?
Goal kickers at this stage of the game for the home side, one each to McDonald and to Crennan, and for Bellpost Hill, all individuals. Andrews, Ford, Kerrin, Skowronski, Etheridge. Got me tongue-tied this afternoon, so take a short break, come back. Second quarter action's not too far away. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
All right, back here at Galvin Park, the home of Grubbycations. The home side, Werribee 2-6-18, trailing the visitors Bellpost Hill 5-2-32. Richard, your thoughts on the first quarter, my friend?
I was quite entertained. I thought it was a pretty good game. And normally when you do best players for a quarter, sometimes it's hard to find some good ones. But I found quite a lot of good players from both sides. It's a strange situation. Werribee Centrals have actually had one more shot at goal than Bellpost Hill. Oh, that's not quite true because there were a couple of rush behinds.
Cubby's going well.
But I just think Bellpost Hill look the more dangerous side. They look the better side at the moment. They're a little bit cleaner with the footy. And I think Werribee Centrals, when they win the tap out of the centre to a player, they look good. But I just think their backline's going to struggle as the game goes on. They're a little bit short. They're up against a fair bit of experience. They just haven't quite been able to use the ball as cleanly as they would like here at home at Galvin Park. And Bellpost Hill, I think they've been probably a little bit down on their best form, but they've got a few new blokes in there. But like the players that have impressed me so far, Stevenson off the half-back tank's been pretty good. McDonald looks like he's been a little bit dangerous up there. Culliver's been good across half-back. Cunningham looks dangerous, Linehan Cunningham, and I think he looks like he could kick a couple. Crennan has his usual good game. Daly's probably had a slight win in the ruck, and Brad Carlton's been pretty good. And then you go through Belpost Hill, and you can pick most of them. Yates has been good. Baseley's been good. Josh Andrews looks dangerous down there. Dylan Whitney, as always. Zane Jones looks a bit dangerous. He looks like he'll take some stopping as well. And early in the quarter, Bo McNamara was just impassable. They couldn't get it past him. So, look, quite a few good players from both sides. I think Werribee has to lift a notch to win it so far, and I think Belpost Hill can just keep going where they're going and they'll win it. So I think the onus now is on Werribee to try and improve, and especially this quarter when they've got the big wind.
It's a hurricane.
They got the wind?
No, I thought they had to win the first quarter. Anyway, round the grounds, Geelong West Giants 38, Anarchy 1. Bannockburn 6 straight 36, lead Inverleigh 3-2-20. No score for North and East, no score for Thompson and Belmont. So if you're listening, Mitch, please send it in. And Winchelsea 14, lead Corio 1 behind. So some interesting results there at the moment.
Well, they're not results yet.
Oh, interesting scores there at the moment. Sorry, Grub. Yep.
This is a very new. It's 8 shots to 7, and there's been a couple that the Centurions would like to get back. I know there's a couple rushed through, but one more goal, and we would have had pretty good. Eric Pearce.
Eric Pearce of the It's exactly what I just said.
You did.
Very, very,
You've
very
got to
good
go with
indeed.
something original of your own for a change.
No, I prefer to
Recycle the rubbish garbage.
Don't recycle the rubbish I took, for God's sake.
Work off the coattails of the champions. So Belpost Hill still in the huddle. Justin Tarr just giving them final instructions. I imagine he's happy, just wants to see more of it. I don't know whether it's early enough to get a trend, but I must admit I'm liking the quality of the footy today. It's been really, really good, but conditions, Grubby, are perfect.
Well, they are perfect. The ground's in good condition, although there's been a lot of footy played on it. They played all the junior schools games here through the week.
Oh, that's always fun.
So they've played a lot of games on it, but
Looks like it needs water.
well, no, that's the grass. You stupid person.
That's what you got all that rubbish power coming through, which needs to be gotten rid of.
Yeah, you don't want water on anyone. You want some of your old man-in-law's honey. That puts life to anything.
That's it, does.
It's magnificent.
Do you reckon they've moved the circle, Grubs? Also started working on the centre pitch.
Well, they might have.
Or no, I reckon maybe with the school games that's why they've moved it today, mate. Because that one passage might have got a fair bit of work.
Every chance.
Who plays cricket here, Grubby?
Werribee Centrals. Who do you reckon?
Grubby side.
Bloody Williamstown.
Grubby side. Won the flag a couple of years ago, didn't you, Grub?
Here?
Yeah.
I don't know, do they?
Oh, you follow Werribee, don't you?
Yeah. I did play here for a year. Yeah, Premiers.
Should have got banned then too.
Oh, mate.
All right, Dale Smith, take us into the second quarter action.
Umpire has a ball in the air, and it's come to ground. Yates taps it down into the hands there of James. Tries to get through the contest, drop the ball. Free kick goes to the Werribee side. I don't know if they can play that because it's advantage, but anyway, they did so. Ball goes into the half-forward line. Pettiards did that nicely, able to get the ball out the back end up in the hands of his an opposition player there, and Flacavento. Flacavento gets the ball out. Timmy Barton looks like he's playing man defence at the present time. Ball comes out, back to Pettiards, tries to get the handball to McDonald, missed the target. The ball goes over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw-in, which will take place inside forward 50 for the Werribee side.
Might even throw him in one of their better players too, James Pettiards. He's played okay.
Yep, so the ball now thrown back in by the umpire. Barton, as I said, down back doing the back ruck work. Ball comes out, picked up there by Crennan, goes back towards the goal square. Spoiled from behind. Actually, was end up being a mark and basically has taken it. Well, the umpire said, no, it's not.
Well, I can't see why that wasn't. He punched it, then caught it. That's a mark.
So obviously the Scotland must have got a hand on it in there somewhere, you would think. But this time Barton takes the ball out of the ruck contest.
Shepherd.
Ooh.
Paid to Shepherd.
And it's going to go to Chesterman, looks like.
Yep.
Wow. Well, I must admit, I couldn't see it, but...
Thought he pushed him in the side, but he definitely pushed him out of the contest.
So Chesterman from 20 metres out directly in front goes back, kicks it goal, and he has snuck it in. He was doing a bit of a dance there for a minute. Thought he might have missed it, but he has put it through. So they move now. Werribee 2, 3 goals, 6. They trail Belpost Hill on 5-2. Ticked over just a minute and a half in this second quarter. What do you reckon about that, Grub?
Well, I tell you what, they got it out of the centre, like I said, and if they do that, they look all right. And... You know, they kicked the first goal, as I say, because they've got it out of the centre. But I'm not quite sure about that free kick. I'm not saying it wasn't there. I'm just saying I didn't quite see that. They let you push people around now.
Well, you're allowed to.
And all of a sudden you don't. You've got to be consistent.
So Daly and Lovett in the middle. Daly yet again and gets it to the advantage of Carlton. He's held, I reckon, by Yates. The umpire said it was okay. Chesterman's got it. He's dragged off the ball. The umpire said you had it too long. Incorrect disposal. Dylan Whitney, the delightful left foot kick, goes into the forward line. Sutton didn't read it well. It's gone over the back of the pack. That's a clever little hand pass to Zane Jones on the run. He gets it across to Andrews, kicks it a wrong side of the foot, lands on the far side of the ground. The umpire has picked a hold, and it's going to go to Bellpost Hill in the forward line. Who is that? Is it
Willie Kerrins?
That's Will Kerrins.
Kerrins, the little fella's got it. Only about 20 metres out on a 45-degree angle. And he is going to go back and have a shot at goal and immediately answer the first challenge of the Buckley's Entertainment second quarter.
It was definitely there, mate. You can see from here the jump was lifted up, so umpire right on that one.
Shouldn't have been there.
So Kerrins, 45-degree angle, only close at goal. The goal umpire doesn't move, but that doesn't mean a lot.
That doesn't mean a lot, no.
Gone straight over the head anyway for a goal. Sixth for the afternoon, Bellpost Hill, 6-2-38, Werribee 3-6-24, and we are 3 minutes into the Buckley's Entertainment second quarter.
Well, I'm going to sound biased here, and I don't care because I call it as I see it. Yes, that was a free kick for a hold. But the one in the centre here on Brad Carlton, he held him. That was a bigger hold up than Ronald Biggs.
Why didn't
he pay that?
I reckon he's paid it, not paid it, because he was going to push him over, but then grabbed hold of him so he didn't fall on the pitch.
But he didn't have it.
I know, that's what I'm saying, but that's not, I reckon, the only thing that saved him.
Lovett wins this tap, but it's Tyler Crennan who gets it. Oh, that's a monster there is Culliver. Tried to balk, got tackled, lost possession, and Bellpost Hill will win the free kick.
Just thought he was going to pay 50 then. It was
Yeah,
his own
so-
teammate.
So did I. It's Flacavento who has the ball. He hand passes across to the running James. That typical long drop punt into the forward line. A pack of players forward. Almost grabs it. Comes over the back of the pack to Whitney. And he kicks a goal for Bellpost Hill. And it is their seventh. 2 in a row. And that really does open up a little bit of a gap. 7-2 they are now.
Was that Whitney?
44.
Nah,
No, it's Kerrins again.
Kerrins,
Oh, was it?
So Dill hasn't got a right foot. He's running in on his own.
That's a very. Oh, yeah, he's back in the middle.
Yes.
I see him now.
Kerrins 2 in a minute. So
And he's got a bit of a strut on him too, as he
nothing wrong
as
with
he
that.
should.
Nothing wrong with that. Kicking goal. So
Nothing wrong with a good belt there. Could fix.
back in the old days, Grub,
yeah.
would have worked out that way.
You kick a goal and strut in the old days. That's the last goal you kick, I can tell you.
Werribee.
Yeah, sunshine and sunshine.
So back in the middle we go once again. As I said, Daly seems to have been able to control it, but this time Lovett over the top, goes to Carlton, got the handball out to Culliver. He's tackled straight away by Fantella, brought to ground. Umpire will take possession of the ball.
Thompson 26, Belmont 14.
So ball to be thrown up quickly there by the umpire. Looks, he's puts ball in there. Lovett just pushes his opposition away. This time, ball taken out of the contest. I think that was Stevenson. The ball goes back into their forward line, but the mark's been taken out there by Staggard. So Staggard now to transfer play back towards centre wing, far side. Yates in some space by himself. Great kick. Mark is taken. Might have been just a little bit. Could have been a little bit lucky there. Yates still with the ball now. His options short. Has a player. Kick was not that great. Picked up there by Miller. Oh, is it? Or is it who? Stevenson, yes, you're right. Sorry, Grub. That ball goes back into their forward line now, and they run the ball back towards Dingle, who tried to pick the ball up. Umpire said,
"Oh no!"
That's possibly deliberate.
Oh dear.
Is that Morton that fell over and knocked that one over?
Yep. So the ball now back with the umpire to be thrown back in on the half-forward line. Ball comes out the back. Game picked up there. Handball goes back inside. Prismal. They continue to push the ball back towards the goal square. Mark is going to be taken. No, it's not. Scotland on hands and knees. Gets the ball. Tries to feed it out. And he is pinned. No prior opportunity there. Umpire right decision. And he will come and ball it up about 20 metres out, almost directly in front of their goal.
Tell you what saved him. I think he didn't realise who pushed it over the line, the ump.
No,
So the
true.
Ball cleared away now. Bellpost Hill get the ball back outside 50 in front. Mark not taken. Fantella. Handball comes out the back. This time Stevenson got the handball back towards the boundary line. Crennan ran onto it but couldn't keep it in the field of play. Another throw in which will take place.
And I can tell you now, if you're not sure who pushed it, you cannot guess.
No, exactly right, mate. And that's what we've spoken about over some previous games.
Yep.
Sometimes it's been guessing.
Yep.
Can't do
You're
it.
not sure, let them throw it in.
So the ball thrown back in by the umpire once again. This time Daly sweeps the ball out the back. Got a running player inside. Culver has a good look at goal. Goes back to the goal square. Flacabento in front. Got hand on the ball. Runs the ball back towards the back pocket. He's tackled. Brought over the line. And there will be a ball or a throw in from about the forward pocket, 10 metres around from the behind post.
I watched Linehan Cunningham. I'm not quite sure whether he just can't get in the right position or Flacavento won't let him. I'm going to put it down to the ladder.
So the ball thrown back in by the umpire. Ruckman go at it. This time Chessman doing the ruck work, taken out of the contest there by Whitney. Shrugs a tackle. Handball goes back outside to Jones. Jones now on the right boot. Goes back in the middle of the ground. Daly is standing underneath the ball, positions himself nicely, takes the mark, and he can put Werribee back into attack, looking
Someone's
for some
got a
runners.
handball.
He's looking for it, Grubb, but he now decides to kick in towards the centre half forward position. And in the front, McNamara couldn't bring he did bring the ball to ground, picked up there, kicked back towards the goal square by Prismal, bounces inside the square and runs through for a goal. So Reece Prismal has his first of the afternoon and the fourth for the Werribee side. They are 4-6. They trail Belpost Hill on 7-2. We have gone 8 minutes. Buckley's Entertainment Centre second quarter scoreboard.
Well, they held it in there for a while, and they had good structure across the half back line for the couple of times that Belpost got it out. Werribee were able to get it back in spot.
It was very unlike Belpost still. They went like the kick went back through the centre. If they're in doubt, they usually go long down the line. But this one they went back in through the middle, and the only bloke there was a 6'7" bloke ruckman on the ground. You know, like they usually come a lot wider, where the players probably were waiting for it.
Yeah.
So Lovett gets a big chunk of it at Brad Carlton, who's been very busy. He picks up the crumb, gets time to get himself straight, kick into the hot spot. But Bo McNamara reads it beautifully again and immediately finds his good mate Caleb Baseley in the back pocket. And the Panthers start to load up again. So Baseley now goes right across the ground, deep onto the far side, looking for and finding Staggard in front of Prismal. He's right on the 50-metre arc, pushes down and Yates marks, kicks it into the middle of the ground, but over the top of teammate there. Crennan gets a very good job, gets it to Culliver. Culliver puts Prismal under pressure.
Ooh. That
was incorrect disposal. He went for the handball, missed. The ball dropped at his feet, and Ren Lovett will take the hand pass, gets it to James. James, a neat little pass out in front of McKay. He can't control the ball.
Bad handball.
Belpel still trying to grab hold of the ball. Players in underneath it. I think the umpire is going to have to go for a ball up, which he does now. Right beneath the scoreboard that shows the Centurions 4-6-30, Belpost Hill 7-2-44. And that is at the 9.5-minute mark of the Buckley's Entertainment second quarter here at Galvin Park. It's Lovett gets it down in the direction of Yates, but it's Miller kicks it across his body. Goes back towards the centre wing there. Belpost Hill picked the ball up there through Staggard. He's dragged to the ground immediately. Another ball up just inside the boundary line, far side of the ground. 14-point the lead to the visiting team, Belpost Hill.
Yates' last two kicks haven't been great, have they?
No. Did I tell you I went to Corridale during the week?
You did.
Oh, I did.
You did mention that.
Got to tell us again.
So Lovett gets two taps at it, wins both of them. James is trying to run on it. He's held. The umpire said that was okay. Yates butters up, gets it back to Staggard. He kicks long down the line. There's a jumper held there. The umpire said out on the full anyway. And Werribee Central's, I think it's Culliver over there, has got the ball. And he will bring his team back into play, looking for options. Not a lot of movement at all, so he just kicks long down the line, hoping that Daly can get in front. He's pushed over at the back of the pack there. James runs onto it. He was held also. The umpire said no.
He
did pay it?
Yeah, he paid it.
He paid it.
So it's holding, and James will take the free kick. And he's going to get a 50 where the aforementioned cheeky little gentleman named McDonald has had a bit of a swipe at Matty James, and he's given away 50 metres. So it takes James forward to the centre for his team. We know he's a beautiful kick. He's going to lob this at the end of the 10-metre square. If he goes full throttle, he might even run around his man. Long, low drop punt into the pocket, trying to find a teammate there in Ettridge. He can't get hold of it. He's got a second go, though. Tackled as he quickly kicks across his body, but landing in the goal square is on the chest of Josh Sutton. And he'll relieve pressure for the Werribee side. Kicks it out and finds his coach, Reece Prismal, in the opposite forward pocket. covering a lot of ground. The elder statesman of the team today, Culliver's got it. He kicks down looking for the smallest player in the team, Scotland.
Not a good kick.
Punched away from him by two much taller opponents. Out of bounds, boundary throw in right in front of Werribee's coach's box.
Now, I haven't seen the runner go out. Well, I'll tell you now, you're playing against the second top side, you're trying to stay in touch, and you give a 50 away. Kick him up the bum.
You have to.
So the ball thrown back in this time. Daly gets the ball back towards the boundary line. It's picked up there. Skronski goes back into their half-forward line and deeper now. Ball at the ground level. Picked up out there. Goes back inside looking for Costello. Little boot goes back in towards the dangerous spot, but the mark is taken out there. Culliver positions himself very nicely once again. Does he spend too much time defence, Grub, or is he...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, ball now comes out wide. The mark is taken out there by Kilby. Plays on by hand. Goes back, gets the 1-2. Runs, now looks to deliver. Goes short. The mark will be taken out there by Carlton. Handballs back into the hands of Culliver. And again he runs, goes to Paddy Arch, takes the mark. Just forward attacking of the centre wing, but he goes back now to Crennan. So Crennan now on true centre wing. Paddy Arge inside him. He goes across the ground. He's got two players out on the far side of the ground. Ball is at the ground. Pick up there was by Bryans. Little boot round the corner's okay. Goes to Andrews. Goes back. A little chip now. Kick was smothered. He's going to win back possession once again. Handball goes outside into the hands of Andrews over the top. And they run now as Herman gets the ball and goes back into their half-forward line. Etheridge again. Good use of the body. A little bit of time. A little bit of space. McNamara has found himself forward. Kicks towards goal. And Bowie McNamara, he kicks one of the afternoon, and that is a pretty good play of the day there, Grub.
And yeah, he's supposed to give the scores and everything.
Sorry, 8-2, Bellpost Hill 4-6, Werribee Central. We have ticked over 13 and a half minutes. Buckley's Entertainment, second quarter scoreboard.
I think it's the Corio by Health play of the day. And again, Etheridge involved in it. He hasn't done a lot, Etheridge, but what he's done has been very, very good. Very good.
Fantastic, Grub. I'm glad you're all over it, mate. That's why you need two of us in here, is it, eh? Because you're not watching.
No, because someone comes before the queue. You can't do that, Smithy.
Back in the middle we go again. This time Lovett gets the ball out. The ball's going to be cleared away. This time Bryans into the half-forward line. Coming the other way was Stevenson. Didn't take the ball. Picked up out there. Handball goes back inside to Whitney. He couldn't take the ball cleanly. And again now at ground level. He goes back and wins it out. Goes back towards James, who runs and carries. He looks up. His kick's out wide. That's a great kick. Mark has been taken out there. And this time it's going to be, I reckon that's Flacavento, who goes long back into the forward line. Bounce doesn't favour any player back there. The forward put a little nice tackle on, try to get the handball away to Kerins, to Costello, who kicks round the body. And Costello, he will get his first goal of the afternoon and the ninth now for Bellpost Hill. 9-2, the Bellpost Hill side to 4-6. Werribee Centrals, 14, almost 15 gone. Buckley's Entertainment second quarter scoreboard.
Well, yeah, that was just a goal from mistake. So the Central should have cleared that ball out and he fumbled at that. But just before, let me correct you, just before you make the same mistake again, Smithy. Lovett didn't get out of the
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
Barton did. He's in the ruck.
I'm not sure who'd be more pleased than him. Red walked past us about 3 minutes ago.
Did he? Jeez, he must have shrunk.
And he got this huge tattoo on his arm too.
Oh,
and his hair colour's changed.
So we're at Buckley's Entertainment, second quarter, 56 leads 30 now. Bellpost still opening up a big gap. Daly whacks it forward for Werribee, but Staggart is first there. Quick kick from him, looking for Flacavento, half-forward flank, bounces in front of him and the wrong way. Goes back towards centre wing, hand pass comes over the back. Barton running near it, does a good job to get his body against an opponent, and the ball goes out of bounds, far side of the ground. And we have just gone almost 16 minutes into this Buckley's Entertainment second quarter, and Centurions desperately need a couple of goals before half-time.
I've seen this time.
So Daly, a lovely left-hand tap from him, clears the area, but desperate defence from Bellpost Hill. Barton slaps it on his foot, punched away from McNamara. Werribee desperately in defence there, but Bellpost Hill are ferocious in attack, trying to keep possession of the ball. Players going hard at it, coming through there, and tackled tackle immediately is...
but where was the prior opportunity?
No, that's not.
That's a disgraceful decision.
That's a great tackle, but wasn't a free kick.
No way.
Dylan Whitney has the ball. That lovely low left foot kick from him doesn't find a target. Scotland hand passes really to no one. Coming through there is Staggart. Kicks into the pocket and there finds Etheridge.
Kerens.
Oh, Kerens, is it? Sorry, Kerens. A quick pass in, and the leading Will Ford has taken a mark. 20 metres out, slightly tighter than 45-degree angle. And he should go back and have a shot for goal and put his team's goal tally into double figures if he's successful here. And that, whew, I can even hear the fat lady singing myself now.
Braden Staggart has had a fantastic 10 or so minutes across half-back there, hasn't he? He's won 3 or 4 contests, and his foot skills have been outstanding.
Who?
Braden Staggart, mate.
He's done a very, very good job indeed. So here's Will Ford. Competition's leading goal kicker, has one already this afternoon. Leaves the boot. The goal umpire doesn't like it. Slap on the shoulder, 1 point only.
Do you know why you can tell, Rob? Because she leaned. When it's straight over the head, she just moves and goes like that. When she, otherwise,
this will be at 1966 grand finals. He gets hit and she lays on the ground and he gets up and jumps around.
9:3:57. Bell Post still. Werribee Central's 4:6:30, and we've gone 17.5 minutes into the Buckley's Entertainment second quarter. Grubby's feverishly reading and taking notes over there. He's going to be full of information during the half-time break.
I'm just looking for Braden Staggart.
He's not on the team sheet, mate. He was late inclusion.
Number 33. That's over the back of the pack.
I was going to say, you told me.
There he is again.
Staggart again gets another hand pass.
And
Staggart again gets the ball, kicks it a bit wobbly to Costello, quickly to Lovett. Lovett, neat little pass into Barton. Barton kicks across his body, looking for forward in the far forward pocket. Sutton punches away from him and gets it over the boundary line. Safety has been found 35 metres around from the behind post. Bell Post ill in attack, and they are attacking ferociously at the moment. 27 points in front.
I had to look at the team sheet because I'm sure you said before the start of the game, out is Braden Staggart.
He wasn't in.
He wasn't in. Where is he? He's not in.
Yeah, he is in,
and
apparently.
He is in.
Late inclusion. Kicked across the body by Culliver. Gets it down to centre wing over the back of the pack. Coming through.
Basically,
it was. Gets it forward. Barton has kicked it into. The umpire's blown the whistle. Out of bounds it is before Barton kicked the ball.
If you listen at the start, Grubby, I asked H who's coming because they had Govis named in the side, but he wasn't playing. So they said they'd put Braden come back in.
Okay, no, I didn't hear
Grabbed him out of the crowd. So it's Lovett and Daly. Lovett got most of it. Gets it down towards Yates. He hand passes clear of the pack, but Werribee have been the beneficiaries of that, but they still can't break clear with a kick or a handball. And the scrummage for the ball has forced it over the line. Secondary boundary throw in now.
I thought you were taking the P.
No, I wasn't, mate.
You know why? When Lovett got the tab and he wasn't on the ground, I thought you were going Staggart and he wasn't on the ground.
So Lovett is on the ground now, and he did win that tab out to Yates. He can't break clear of the pack. Ball wobbles out the back there, and it's Herman who gets it across to Whitney. Whitney's a lovely little left footer, and that is very cleverly marked by Kerens in the forward pocket. Used his body beautifully. Kicks it to true centre forward. The leading forward takes a very strong mark in front of Sutton. And he's just inside the 50-metre arc when he kicks it. So he kicked from 45 at least, but he's directly in front. And we know that he's got the foot to go the distance.
I know he demands the ball, Grub, but from that last little patch, they just seem to be going more centric to him. You've got 4 or 5 other blokes who can kick goals. I know he leads hard, and it was a nice kick to him as well, and he's a fantastic grab. But you've got 2 or 3 other options that they're not even looking at.
Yeah, that's right. And what I can't understand is all these blokes were 4'5", but completely out position of their opponents. That shouldn't be allowed to happen. No. But I tell you, with this Will Ford, he keeps going, he'll graduate and become a Holden.
So Will Ford directly in front. He will be 48 metres when it leaves his foot. It's long and it is straight, and the goal umpire definitely hasn't moved because there was no need to move. It's right through the middle. 10-3-63. Werribee Centrals are way in the distance at 4-6 now, and we have gone 21 minutes into the Morris Finance second quarter. Sorry, Buckley's Entertainment second quarter.
I guess this is what's supposed to happen. A side that's sitting second is going to play finals against a side that's finished sixth. This is what's supposed to happen. But I think Werribee Centrals have just got to go all out, attack with everything to try and make up that deficit.
You're better off losing and having a crack, aren't you, Grub, than just losing it because you're second versus sixth.
Yeah.
So the ball back in the middle of the ground. Yates forces his way through the middle of the ground, kicks into the half-forward line again, runs free now. Skorowski picks the ball up, looks back inside. A player by himself. Fantella can take the ball. He can go if he wants to. Has time to do a 360 and kick it towards goal. And Adrian Fantella, he says, this is mine. I'll finish it off. And he does so with a goal. It is the 11th goal now, and they are moved to 11-3. They lead Werribee on 4-6. 22 gone. Buckley's Entertainment Centre second quarter scoreboard.
Again, bloke left on his own. There's someone that has to be responsible for him. But the stupid part about it is you get a 50-year-old bloke that's coming to the end of his career, takes a mark and wanders in, and he went all the way in to kick it and still never had anybody within 10 metres of him. There's something wrong with him.
50-year-old.
Sorry, Adrian, but he's 35, 80 or something. But, you know, the defence is terrible.
Yeah, they've got a bit lazy. Daly gets most of that, but doesn't really go anywhere. Prismal's dragged off the ball immediately, tries to win it back, but the umpire's forced to ball it up. We're still in the centre circle. 69 plays 30, 22 minutes into the Buckley's Entertainment second quarter. Up it goes again. Daly wins again, but coming through is Bashley. Kicks it off the ground a couple of times. Doesn't go real far. Yates comes through very strongly. Forces it forward. Bashley grabs it, drags it under.
In the back.
Umpire says... And there's a decision that's really paid these days.
Well, if you dive well enough, you'll get it. And that's exactly what he did.
So basically kicks across to a leading forward again. He's up, has the ball just punched away at the last little minute, but he gets a hand pass back, puts it in the direction of Herman. He comes and gets a second crack at it. He's tackled just as he kicks it, enough to put him off. Forward pocket to McKay. He taps it forward to a teammate, but Werribee get a dangerous kick into the hot spot. Players everywhere looking for that. Fantella gets a left footer forward, but must have been touched. Daly took the mark, but immediately played on. Oh, that's dangerous. They're really making a lot of mistakes. There's panic. There's a bit of laziness. There's a lot of not good signs creeping into this Werribee side in the last few minutes, Grubby.
Well, their on-ballers and their ruck are pretty good, and their forwards are reasonable, but the defence is just terrible.
It's fallen apart quite badly recently. Daly has done a pretty good job. Winning the ball from that tap out was Yates. Quick kick at goal. Off way to the right. One behind only. 11-5-75 Bell Post Hill. Werribee Central's 4-6-30, and they've been at for quite some time. There's
nowhere to go here.
Culliver now kicks down the line. Whitney.
Oh, he's paid drop on the arms.
Bashley has got a arm chop free kick.
Yep.
It's just forward of centre wing. Pops it into the pocket, looking for Andrews. Barton's there as well, trying to win the ball. Andrews butters up really nicely. A lovely little kick into the hot spot if he's got a teammate there. It's come over the back to Ford. Ford gets it across.
It's Brian's.
To Brian's. Brian's across his body, and that is another goal to Bell Post Hill. They're 12th. They're 12 for 80. And, 82.
You can
and,
tell
76.
Still stuck on
76, mate.
12-4-76. Sorry.
You can tell Murphy Watt doesn't know much about the league, mate. He's
up.
trying to wrestle Timmy Barton down here in the forward pocket.
We're doing that. in a big hurry.
It's now getting a little bit ugly at the moment, Grub. The way they're running forward, and they're just spare men everywhere.
Yeah, look, they were adequate early. As I said, I thought at quarter time, even though the scores were close and Werribee had the more shots for goal, that Bell Post Hill looked the more dangerous. Yep. And by a word, have they proved that? But look, their problem during the year, Werribee, has been their defence. They haven't got enough big blokes, and they just run over the ball.
So back in the middle we go this time. The Buckland's out. Daly goes into the hands of Carlton once again. Little banana kick into the half-forward line. Chesterman comes out, couldn't take the mark. Picked up out there by McDonald. His left boot goes into the forward pocket. Scotland leads in the race for the ball. Handball's back inside. Again, that was okay. McDonald's kick was smothered. Ball goes over the boundary line, and we will have a throw-in, which will take place, I reckon, right on the forward 50 arc, far side of the ground. A ball thrown back in now by the umpire. This time, McNamara doing the ruck work. Swoops it out of the back. Picked up. Handball goes into the hands there of Yates. He turns and kicks quickly back towards centre wing. That was nicely done there because the ball has ended up in the hands of Young. He goes back with a short kick. Went past Lovett, but Bell Post still with some numbers behind the ball. Fantella kicks the ball into the half-forward line. Skowronski, he goes into the right foot. Gee, that again, Grub, too easy. And Will Ford in space by himself. He's got players back beyond it, but no, Will Ford just go back and kick the goal.
You're a full forward, kick the goal. That was a bit of Gaelic football there, Grub. You got a couple of Irishmen here, mate.
Came out a bit lucky, but I tell you what with Will Ford, which I don't like, is that there were options running everywhere.
He turned his
and
back.
he did the old turn your back on it and then turn around quickly. Oh no, too late now.
You might not like it, mate.
Never walk when
You
you
don't
take
like
a
it.
mark.
I love it.
You always keep your head to the plate. Don't turn your back on it because there could be a better option. And in that case, there was. And I hope he misses it.
Will Ford comes in from 40
But I don't
metres
think he
out,
will.
kicks that goal,
He
and he has missed it by a
He's
long
missed
way.
everything.
Well, hey, it serves him right. You do not walk back with your back to the plate. He had 4 options there.
Yep, ball is now in through from behind. It is 12-5 to the Bell Post Hill side, 4-6 to Werribee. And we have gone almost 27 minutes, second quarter.
Big second quarter from Inverleigh, got themselves back in front, 7-6-48. Bannockburn have only kicked 1 behind this quarter. They're 6-1-37.
So back with Stevenson. He goes short to the back pocket. Mark's taken out there by Kilby. This will be the important kick. Goes looking towards Sutton. It's okay. Mark is taken. So Sutton now can get the ball outside their defensive 50 if he opts to go that way. Looking for some options. Goes short again. Carlton's made some room just outside their 50. He goes short with a kick into the hands of McNamara. Takes it. Kicks the ball. Staggard went past him. He goes back. Can he win it back? No. The ball was taken out of the middle of the contest. The Leon's there. Fantella picks the ball up. Got the handball out. Gained the hands of James. Got through one. Looked to get the handball back outside. Went to Jones. Jones went outside. Skoronski's there on the left boot. Goes into the half-forward line. Prismal did nicely. Able to get the ball over the boundary line and help things set up from behind.
And I'll tell you another thing, Smithy. Sutton, that's in the back line. He's a forward. Young played full forward.
Yes.
Culliver is an on-baller. They're makeshift players in the back line because they just haven't got a back line.
So ball from that ruck contest comes to the front of the and is picked up there by Crennan. Got the handball away. Went towards De Leon. He's pushed off the ball by Staggart. He takes the ball. He's tackled, brought to ground. Ball comes out into the hands now. Goes back towards James. And he will pick the ball up. Got out of trouble. Bit too easy. Handballs back inside. Ball runs towards Herman, but he's got options there with Baseley. He goes over the top into the hands there of Timmy Barton. So Barton now, he loads up, goes long out towards the pocket. Looking for Ford. Good mark. And he will go back. And again, this time have a look at a third goal.
That's the story of the game. A bloke here doesn't go hard enough or tackles hard enough, and it's going to result in a shot for goal. That's what happens against good sides. You get away with it against the not-so-good sides, but you don't go in hard enough, then that can force a goal. So get in hard enough.
I have concerns here, Grub, about playing free kicks. Like, how'd that ball come out of this pack? It wasn't got rid of deliberately, and then I know it might be semantics, but it should have been a free kick there, and then that changed the whole complex of the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd have paid a free kick there. It was knocked out. They were going for the ball. There wasn't a lot of pride. I don't mind that.
It was shoveled
I
out.
worry about the boy who didn't go hard enough here. That's what I worry about.
So Ford kicks a goal. Umpires hasn't moved all that much. I'm saying that it's a goal because that was just a casual bounce back. And they have their 13th now. They're 13 goals, 5 Bell Post Hill. They lead Werribee Centrals on 4-6. And we have gone almost 30 minutes. Buckley's Entertainment Centre, second quarter.
And I'll just add to that, right? If you miss a free kick here and there, you can't control that.
No, you're right.
But you can control going in and having a fair income go.
Yep.
You can control. I know he's only a young kid.
Doesn't matter.
But they've got to learn that you can run in and hit a bloke fair and square, but to stand back and let a bloke run past you is just not good enough.
No, fair enough too.
So in the middle, Lovett gets his hand on the ball first. Ball comes through. Oh, dear me, it's hard to concentrate here today. Matt James tried to get away from the pack, couldn't. Players desperately trying to get it out. It's coming out there to Culliver. He kicks down the line and over the head of Chesterman, who's been very quiet today. He's one of their better players and has hardly been in the game at all. And the ball's come forward from Baseley, and Matt James now has it in the middle of the ground. That familiar drop punt of his kicks it out into the path of Staggart, gets it on first bounce. Lovely little pass across his body.
What's
and he's
going
found
on there?
Flacavento. That is Jordan Flacavento. He will be 45 metres out, 45-degree angle, and he fancies himself, I reckon, this young fella. He might not get much of a chance to kick goals. He's mainly been a defender, but I think he's liking his chances here.
He's been a forward, mate. His brother is the defender.
Oh, he's the brother defender.
Yep.
Okay, so Jordan Flacavento from 45 metres out leaves the foot pretty well. It's an up and underish, going to land just near the square, and that is a very, very strong mark by Nick Costello, who's had some problems with a calf.
Nothing wrong with the calf at all.
But he's been okay with that. He's
Happy
going
days
to
aside, just about to blow.
take one step to the right. He will kick across his body and he will kick a goal like he always does. I've never seen him miss one of them. And across the body it goes for a goal, the 14th, right on the siren.
Good call, Dale.
For half-time.
9 for the quarter.
I haven't seen the score, but I know it's 14 goals to 4. 14-5 to 4-6, 59-point lead. Dale Smith goal kickers.
Goal kickers for the home side, McDonald, Prismal, Crennan and Chesterman, and for Bellpost Hill, 3 each to Ford, Kerrins, 2 to Costello, and that is Nick, and 1 to Andrews, Fantella, Bryans, McNamara, Goronski and Etheridge. We'll take a short break, come back, go through everything that we've been through here this afternoon. Hopefully some half-time scores from around the grounds. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
In control back anyway, it's Huft. Oh, we're away.
There he is. One for Tosca.
park.
So ball thrown in the forward pocket. This time the ball comes to the front of the contest. Picked up out there and cleared away there. I think that was Yates who's got the boot to ball. Goes outside. Running onto it is Morton. Just keeps the ball in front of himself. Handball's outside. Unfortunately, Staggard. Well, the handball wasn't that great anyway, I don't think. And the ball's gone back over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in, which will take place.
Been some positive signs this quarter for Werribee, Dale. So,
unfortunately, Cuss can't get that scoreboard pressure spot. That's what they need to do, just to put a few on the board and get some confidence among the group. Picked up there by Yates, goes towards his teammate Whitney, over the top to McNamara, back to Yates. They're just racking up possessions there. Whitney gets the ball back again into Flaccavento, takes the mark on centre wing. So Flaccavento, this is Jordan now, looks back inside, short kick, finds Kerins. Across the ground they could have come, but it goes into the hands of Whitney. It's low, flat kick, and that's a great kick. And Jaden Ettridge has taken the mark. He's got Costello long and wide. That's the direction he goes in. Wasn't well directed, and Matty Miller slides in and takes the mark. So Miller now will just steady things down and go short outside to Leon. Took a couple of steps, thought he might have gone then. The umpire says no. It's okay. So De Leon now. His options are not too many, but it looks like there's not too much movement further down the ground. He goes long, outside 50. Little tap in the back, goes back towards a bell post hill. They've got some numbers around the contest. Back to when Whitney had it. He kicks back in towards Miller. Miller gets the ball, handballs back over the top to De Leon, and he looks up and tries to go back towards centre wing. Ball gets out the back. Again, Morton couldn't trap the ball. Picked up Flaccavento on the left boot, brings the ball back into their forward line. Miller comes out. He left the ball behind. De Leon also. Ettridge picks the ball up. Skoronski's got it now. Has a player outside. Will use him in Jones. Stops and props. Put himself under a little bit of pressure. Over to Costello. Stops and props and looks at goal. And he kicks his third goal of the afternoon. And the 16th now for Bellpost Hill. They are 16-6. They lead Werribee Central's on 5-8. Lifeline third quarter scoreboard. We have gone 17 minutes.
It's pretty basic. You got the ball's out on the half back line, and you got even amount of defenders and forwards. The ball comes back in. The Bellpost Hill players follow it, and all of a sudden there's 7 Bellpost Hill players and 4 Werribee players because they haven't run across, and Costello's on his own. All right, Costello's opponent left him, but somebody's got to run across. As the goal was kicked, 4 Werribee Central's players just walked across. Now, they should have run across a minute and a half ago, and they got them covered, but they didn't, and it just makes it far, far too easy for a bloke with Costello's calibre to not kick a goal from that.
Yep.
Just all tied up in the big game. Inverleigh and Bannockburn 52 apiece, and Winch have got a bit of a shot away on Corio in the third quarter. Dylan Whitney from the centre bounce kicks forward over the back of the pack. There comes and having a second go at it there is McKay. He can't win possession. Werribee, this time the defenders are there in enough numbers to see an even contest, and they get it over the boundary line for a throw in. Forward pocket about 30 metres around from the goal. There's some reasonable amount of Werribee numbers down there now defending pretty hard. Lovett and Dwyer go at it pretty hard. This time Dwyer's dragged down. And we'll have a Daly, don't know where Dwyer comes from.
I don't know, but you've called him that 3 times.
Right.
In a row.
That's all right.
Paddy Dwyer. I know where Paddy Dwyer is now. That's where I've got it from. Anyway, Werribee come out, but they've lost possession again. Bellpost Hill kick it back into the hot spot, and there to take a mark right in front, 30 metres out. Jaden Ettridge, who's had a serviceable game, done some very, very clever things, and he's going to line up and have a shot at his own second goal for the afternoon. Missed a sitter early in the game, but he's had a hand definitely in at least 2 others, so he's had a pretty tidy game for someone who was dragged out of the seconds. So Ettridge now directly in front, 30 metres out. It's an up and under, but it is very, very straight. And the 17th goal for the Panthers, 17-6, 102. Centurions are 5-8-38. 19 and a half minutes into the lifeline third quarter.
Well, you're right. He missed the first one. He was a bit rusty, but I tell you what, he doesn't normally miss them.
Nope.
And he hasn't missed any since. And the funny thing is, you say he was dragged out of the seconds. Well, he was, but not to play in this game. He was dragged out of the seconds because they know he's an integral part of their forward line at St Albans in September. And he will play, and he will be dangerous.
Fair enough. I've got to ask you a question, Grub. If Nick Costello's hobbling around, you're 12 goals in front. Why is he still on the ground?
I honestly don't know. I don't know why they put him back on at all, to be quite honest.
So from the middle of the ground, it's Crennan that emerges with it. He goes long into the forward line.
That's
coming
what
out.
you
That's
want
a
to
better
see.
look at the grab there, and he comes up
How
and he
can
takes
you
the
play
mark.
shit all day and then do that? It just, I don't know. It just bewilders me. I know they're playing against a side that's better than them, but they've got to be better than that. I tell you what, they need Luke Luddick out there kicking goals from the half-forward flank. Lukey! What a champion he was.
He was a bloody good footballer.
So Linehan Cunningham now from about 20 metres out directly in front, and that is a good kick off the boot. He has his first goal of the afternoon. The 6th now for Werribee side. They are 6-8. They trail Bellpost Hill on 17-6. We have gone almost 21 minutes. Lifeline third quarter scoreboard.
He wasn't just a great player, mate. He's a great bloke, Lukey. Hey?
He's a good player, mate. He's a very good player to watch.
See the gatekeeper?
The
See the gatekeeper?
No.
No, that was left hook.
Oh, sorry.
He wasn't a great bloke. He's a mongrel.
Lukey Luddick could certainly play some footy, mate, back in the dynasty years of the Centurions.
Just another quick round the ground score. Keith 62, Narracourt 30 at half time in the KFTFL.
Bloody idiots.
Keith's playing on his own.
And they reckon I'm an idiot.
Back in the middle. Oh, Daly gets it down, but it's been sharked by Matty James. He kicks it across, releasing a teammate far side of the ground. He kicks into the forward line, but coming out and taking a very strong mark is Matty Miller, veteran of the side.
He's been
He's
all
had a
right.
pretty
He
good
has.
game. It was Zane
Getting
Jones
right
who
through.
kicked that ball forward. So Miller, again, long, low drop punt down on the half-forward line, coming out strongly there to meet the ball. Was the Werribee attackers. It's Daly who gets it across to his teammate there in Leonard. He can't keep control of the ball. Werribee going to have another crack through Chester, and he gets it back into the middle of the ground and finds Carlton. Carlton kicks forward
Keep
and
going.
releases. Is that young Leonard who has that?
Could be Dingle.
Dingle.
I'm not too sure.
He's about 40 metres out. He's found another free pass, but McNamara read it like a book. Coming
Oh.
intercept. Oh, there's been a horrible crash between teammates there for Bellpost Hill. Carlton's got it again. It gets it. Crennan quick kick across the body from him, but off the hands of the pack through for one behind only. Bo McNamara and a teammate had a terrible crunch there.
Okay. That was Steve Ward, Jason Gillespie like that one, wasn't it?
And I think you were right the first time. It wasn't Dingle. I think it was
Leonard.
Benny Leonard, yeah.
Anyway, waiting for the ball to come back in. It's gone off into the trees. Don't have a net at that end of the ground, so it doesn't come back that easily.
I can only afford one as well.
That was the question last week, wasn't it?
Only get one end. What's going on there?
My eyes have gone. I can only see two poles. I can't see a net up there. There's no net up there, is there?
There's 3 poles up there, Grub.
There's a net. Yeah.
Oh,
Three
there
big
it
black
is,
ones.
yeah. Trees gone.
So I presume it's basically again having kick number 73 for the afternoon.
They don't count.
Kick down from half-back flank, and that's a very good mark, almost there. Bellpost Hill. James has come through, hand passes away desperately. Watt has got the ball dispossessed. Whitney's got it now. Long hand pass from him to Costello. Costello has a wobbly old drop pump, but he's kicked it very effectively. Will Ford can't quite hold the mark. Players trying to get it. Jaden Ettridge kicks across his body at 45 degrees. Behind himself, kicks a goal. His third for the afternoon. Bellpost Hill 18-6, 114. Werribee 6-9, 45. It's a spifflication now. 23 and a half minutes into the Lifeline third quarter.
It's just going down in waves now, Grubby, isn't it? They're just running it and pushing it forward, keeping it moving, which is a different style of play that we see Bellpost still. They normally play possession footy, but today they've just broken everything right open and shown us a brand new style of footy, which might suit St Albans.
Well, it might. And the other thing is, when Werribee actually get the ball, they don't look too bad.
No, you're right.
But Bellpost still not letting them get it, and they've got no hope.
There's only one ball out there.
Couple of quick goals from Inverloy, has them 2 goals in front in the big match there. Daly again, left hand, but it's coming through from centre wing. There is
Skoronsky.
That's it. That's
Skoronsky.
his name. That's the one I was going to say. He's kicked it to his captain.
It's a good way to get a game next week.
It certainly is. Yates across now to Baseley. Another kick for him, and that's a beautiful kick to the leading forward. He's marked it right on the 50-metre arc. He kicked immediately into Sutton, the man on the mark. That's a throwback to Ford.
I thought it was too.
It's a good throw.
He's kicked it into the hot spot in the forward pocket. Costello can't quite handle the ball there. Kilby comes out, kicks it long to centre wing. And coming out there to take a mark is
Mildren Wright.
Mildren Wright. Now there's one. Where's he been all afternoon? He gets it across to Watt. Watt kicks down over the back of the pack. Running onto
Numbers.
that very cleverly, Chesterman. Chesterman across to teammate there in Leonard. And he has kicked that through for a goal. The 7th for the afternoon for the Werribee Centrals. To say much needed would be an understatement. 25 minutes, lifeline, third quarter.
And I'll just reiterate it.
Coast to coast.
When they actually get the footy and get a clear run on it, they look okay. But when they haven't got the ball, they look terrible because they're tackling. Their tackling today has been pretty much non-existent. Every single Belpost Hill player that gets the ball can break the tackle. You know, you've got to tackle better than that. But as I say, when they get the ball, they look okay.
Yep, you're right.
So back in the middle we go once again. Ruckman this time. Daly out of the middle. There's a free kick. Umpire's blown the whistle.
Yeah, it should have gone the other way because Jamesy was shepherding him out. And he went to grab him. He did grab him, but you can't shepherd when the ball's going up in the ruck.
No.
And the umpires paid it from 47 metres away. Probably didn't see that part. But you can't block. That's where Cripps gets all his free kicks on. They block him and the umpires pick it.
So the free kick goes to Matty James. So James now is asked to go back over the mark by the umpire. Got a player out the back. He will use him now and Basely across the ground to Staggard. So Jones further afield now if they want to use him. Goes in that direction. Again, a little bit of time and space now. Actually left the ball behind. Now he goes back, puts him under a little bit of pressure now. Staggard on the right boot, goes back into the middle of the ground, goes looking for his teammate. Mark not taken there. James trapped the ball. Actually didn't take possession of it, just let it go. Ball over the top now. Andrews works hard, but again, they emerge with the ball, and that was through Bryan's. Little kick towards the centre wing, picked up there. McNamara, good clean pick up. Outside to Yates, handballs it away, but only as far as Carlton runs himself in and out of trouble. Gave it to Costello, but he didn't want it either. He handles the ball back in the hands of Carlton, and he goes into the middle. Missed his target. Coming through this time will be Herman. Herman now goes long into the forward line. Mark Miller Cakes, I thought he took the mark. Not too sure whether it was touched. Must have been further up the field. In the hands now of Stevenson. He has a look. He goes across the ground. That's a better use of the ball. And the mark has been taken inside 50. The short kick now goes in the defensive end, but it's been intercepted, and Jaden Ettridge is a little bit sore from that.
Yeah.
He has too. He's holding his calf, knee. I'm not too sure there, but it is three-quarter time here, and it is 18 goals, 6 Belpost Hill. They lead Werribee on 7-9. Goal kickers at this stage of the game. Reece Pismal has 2, 1 each to McDonald, Linehan, Cunningham, Crennan, Leonard and Chesterman. And for the Belpost Hill side, 4 to Will Ford, 3 each to Costello and Kerrins and Jaden Ettridge, 1 each to Andrews, Fantella, Bryans, McNamara and Skowronski. Take a short break, come back. Final court action not too far away. You're listening to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
And back here at a sun-baked Galvin Park in Werribee, where it sees the home side 7-9-51, trailing Bellpost Hill 18-6-114. Bit much of what happened in the second quarter, lads. Wasn't much of a yelp given by.
Well, they had a bit of a go for a while. There was a lift in tenacity. They got a couple of goals and thought, things have turned around. But again, there's some I don't know whether it's laziness, lack of concentration. It looks like laziness, but you'd hope that it wasn't that. I don't know, Dale. What did you reckon?
Oh, Dale's got his own intro.
I'm
not too sure what you put it down for. Players don't go out to play poorly. That's just a fact. We know that. But they've got or haven't got into any rhythm for any part of the game. They've been able to show little bits and pieces, and as when Grubby said, when they play good footy, they can play some good footy. But Bellpost Hill are just relentless.
They haven't let them play footy, have they?
No, I don't think so. I think that's the thing. It was a bit like last week, Spider. We watched Bannockburn. They threatened, but were never going to win the game because East Geelong just controlled it.
And the week before, Bannockburn against Bellpost Hill.
Yeah, and it's pretty much the same thing that's happened here this afternoon. Bellpost Hill have controlled the game, and every time Werribee look like they're going to get a bit back, they just have one or two players to just slide in, slow things down, take marks, turn the ball over, and it goes back the other way. So they really have just controlled the game all day and haven't allowed the Werribee side to get into rhythm. Look, obviously, the first quarter, if they had a kick straight, may have changed things for them. 6-2 at quarter time might have made them a bit more competitive, but at the stage they're dragging the chain. And as I said, they just need to be out there and having a real red-hot crack to make sure they can give their supporters something to live by in the next couple of weeks.
Look, for Werribee, their best six have been their best six, haven't they? Daly's been really good in the middle.
He's been excellent today.
Carlton, Crennan, Culliver, Prismal, Miller, Stevenson. The blokes you name most weeks are their best players.
Carlton's been really good.
Well, you look at Bellpost Hill, and you can almost name them all.
Yep.
I mean, Yatesy does what Yatesy does. Keller basically seems to be getting better with age. He just seems to know his game and just does what he wants. Andrews, Whitney. Timmy Barton's probably had the quietest game we've seen him in a long time.
Yes.
But, then you throw in Braden Staggart and Beau McNamara. You don't need Timmy dominating, do you? So, anyway, here we go. Third quarter, final quarter action. Morris Finance, all over to you, Dale.
Umpire with the ball, and he puts it in the air. And as I said, I reckon come siren time, the Werribee boys will be looking forward to it pretty quickly. But it's Daly again who wins the ruck contest. Goes to Culliver. Ball from the middle of the ground, picked up. Handball by Bryans. Didn't travel too far, so it's still in dispute in the middle of the ground. Players converge. Umpire comes in, said it's not going to come out quickly. So the best thing is to ball it up, and that's what he's going to do. Tyler Crennan was the player on the ground to hand the ball back to the umpire. So I love it, and Daly again, both ruckmen probably had a little bit on it. Culliver went out the ball, couldn't take it up cleanly. Yates just goes after it hard, and ball now sits somewhere underneath him. And again, with the ball not coming out, the umpire again in quickly. We'll restart play. Any three-quarter time scores there, Rob?
Geelong West 98, Anarchy 21, and Inverleigh 19 points clear of Bannockburn, 71-52.
So the ball quickly into the forward line. Ball runs free now. Coming out the ball is Kilby. Ball into the goal square. Well, actually, Ford took it out of the hands of Ettridge. Not too sure what he was doing there, but it doesn't matter. They had the ball, but now it's been run out there, and it's going to be cleared away by Stevenson, who goes back towards centre wing. Andrews leads in the race for the ball, has plenty of time, looks up, goes back to the forward pocket. Ettridge in front. Good spoil from behind this time. Ball goes over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw-in, which will take place. And it's about 25 around from the behind post. Bellpost Hill back in attack once again.
Ettridge the cramp it was, mate. I had it confirmed by him.
Oh, okay. Probably hasn't run as many times in a game of football.
Well, there's no time on him, Toos.
Well, that's true. That's exactly right. So the ball now runs back. Barton taps the ball in front of himself. Can't keep it in there. Ball in the hands now. That was Mildred Wright. Got the handball out the back. Crennan ends up with it. Goes outside. Finds his teammate there in Culliver, who gives the ball towards centre wing. Chesterman is out there. Needs to pick the ball up and does so. Kicks around the body. And that was a nice good pick up there by Leonard. Leonard goes back inside to Chesterman. Now that's the banana on the outside of the boot. Goes into the half forward line. The banana picked up by Carlton. Runs inside 50 and puts himself under a bit of pressure. Jets back, and the email has been taken over there by Andrews.
To do that.
No.
Because the other bloke was outside the 10-metre square.
There was nowhere near him.
They never even appealed for it.
So it's a minus score to the Werribee side, and the ball is brought back in quickly. They go outside 50. Marker's not taken out there. Ball runs over the back. Umpire says it's out of bounds, which will have a throw in.
Goal each to Inverleigh and Bannockburn since we last spoke. Thompson 58, Belmont 17, and Winchelsea 69. They got away from Corio, who are 35.
So the ball now runs towards centre wing, leading in the race with the ball picked up out there nicely by Culliver. Got the handball back inside, went towards Miller. Miller now a little bit of time, goes long into the forward line. Young's out in a strong lead. That's a good pair of hands. And he takes the mark and he will have a shot from goal.
Well, I was glad to see him back up that end of the ground.
Yep.
Because they had him in the back line early, and I'm not no disrespect to the kid, he had absolutely no idea how to play back line football, and he just showed us then that he can play forward line football.
So Ryan Young has a minor score for the afternoon.
I think, Smithy, it's height. They're just trying to put blokes back there with height.
Yep.
Because they're lacking height, you know.
So he works in now. Young kicks some 40 metres out. Looks okay off the boot. Has got the accuracy and the distance. And he has got his first goal of the afternoon and the 8th now for Werribee side. They move to 8-10. They trail Belpost Hill on 18 goals 6. We have gone 3.5 minutes. Morris Finance final quarter scoreboard.
This is going to sound awfully stupid, but I just reckon, and I know they've been around a while, and I know they're both underdone, and I know they're both probably carrying a few too many kilos. But I just think James and Ettridge in their side, I think it's going to make them a better proposition in September, October, August, September in the finals.
James has been good.
Well, James has been good, but Ettridge, I just think that makes them a better side. I think it gives them. Yeah, and Cozzy agrees. Unfortunately, he might be the one to go out.
Oh dear, the ball's been kicked forward again. Players waiting underneath it. Again, hand pass back to out by Flacavento. It's Chesterman who picks up, gets it across to De Jong, dragged out of his hand by Whitney. A long kick from him, but in the middle of the ground waiting is Matt Miller, who's been very serviceable again today. Left footer from him to Culliver in the middle of the ground, and he finds Chesterman, who has fallen over or pushed over. But,
I think that was Carlton that gave it to him.
Carlton, was it?
And he's been pretty good today.
He has been very, very good. No doubt about that. So Chesterman, he'll kick from the 50-metre line. Don't know that he'll get that far. It's an up and under. It's a nice little 9-iron chip. It's going to land in the right spot, but punched away by Flacavento. Hits the goalpost, one behind only. It's 8-12-60. Belpost Hill 18-6, 114. And Caleb Basley, who must have a very, very sore right foot now, is doing kick-ins and getting them at will around the ground, comes in. Chesterman has lifted his effort since half-time without doubt, and he forces that ball over the boundary line. While on the 50-metre arc, his team in attack, and we are 5.5 minutes into the Morris Finance final quarter here.
So it looks like Chesterman doing the ruck work. No one else has been nominated, so I'm not too sure anyone else can go in there.
He's been doing it a lot of the days.
Takes the ball out of the ruck contest there. Ball ends up in the hands of Culliver, goes back towards the goal square. Numbers there with Belpost Hill. There's a free kick being pulled out. It's going to go to De Leon, I think it is. Actually, the umpire's called to play on.
But he pointed the other way.
Did he?
He pointed the wrong way, but that doesn't matter. It's their 9th goal for the afternoon.
So the 9th goal is kicked by Charlie Dingle. Or Chase Dingle, I should say. And he's...
Charlie.
I looked at me, can't read me writing. 9-11 to the Werribee side, 18-6 to Belpost Hill, 6 minutes gone, Morris Finance final quarter scoreboard.
Look, I think the idea in this caper is to be unbiased. But go Centrals! Come on!
Should have prefaced that with this saying, this might sound silly.
No, I knew that would sound silly. That's why I said it.
Daly this time wins the ball. It's Carlton who very cleverly gets it across to De Jong. He hand passes backwards to Leonard. Leonard comes round and kicks it into a very good hot spot. Linehan Cunningham comes out and takes it.
Young.
It's Young. Takes a very, very strong mark on the lead. He kicked a goal from exactly this spot 5 minutes ago. So there'd be no logical reason why he couldn't do it again. And bring up their 10th for the afternoon, and they're having a little bit of a spurt.
They're showing something. That's what
They
they're
are
doing.
showing something. So a Young now 40 metres out, 45 degree angle or a little bit straighter. Leaves the boot nicely. This one across a bit to the left. One behind only. 9-12-66 Belpost Hill, 18-6, 114 Morris Finance. Last quarter, 7.5 minutes in.
So basically it will do some work now, kicking in once again. Going to come Short to the back pocket. Marcus taken out there. McNamara can go short if he wants to. Options is going to be longer. Lovett's going to be the first option. He's up in front. Good strong hands, takes the mark.
No chance for Stevenson there.
Not too sure there. Lovett plays on now. Kicks back towards centre wing. Kick not that great. Coming through there was McKay. Couldn't take the mark. Ball's out into the hands of Crennan. Crennan now delivers the ball back outside. Just over the head of Basely into the hand of Prismal. Prismal plays on quickly and goes into the forward line. Staggard read that nicely off the boot. Takes the mark. Has an option back in the middle of the ground, and that is James. Doesn't take the mark. Stops and props. Chesterman got him from behind. Umpire said that is holding the ball, and probably correctly so.
Absolutely.
So Chesterman now with the football right in the middle of the ground.
Oh, we can't do that.
Hampel was very slick, but yes, umpires asked him to go back behind the mark.
He's in front of the mark when he handles
So
it.
Chesterman now, a little short kick, goes out wide. Mark is taken, so now the ball going to be kicked long into their forward line. Ball from Stevenson, went looking for his teammate, and the mark has been taken. I reckon that might be, is that Prismal again?
Leonard, I reckon.
No, it's not Leonard. Yeah, it is Leonard, I think.
Yeah, could be right out there. Benny Leonard. So he's going to kick for goal. They have 2 for the final quarter. Could make it a third here with a nice straight kick. Going to need every bit of 45 metres. Whether he has it in him at this stage of the afternoon, we'll soon find out. So Benny Leonard now comes in. Kicks a goal.
Beautiful kick.
Umpire just stands there and looks as the ball goes straight over his shoulder, and it is a goal to Benny Leonard. That is his second goal of the afternoon, the 10th now for the Werribee side. They are 10-12. Bellpost Hill are on 18-6. We've gone close to 10 minutes. Morris Finance final quarter scoreboard.
Hasn't gone past the centre circle for Bellpost Hill this quarter. It's been 10 minutes of dominance by Werribee.
Obviously, they've taken the foot off the pedal, right? But and honestly, some people can play better and improve their game. But there's a couple of blokes out there that are actually showing the endeavour in this last quarter that they bloody well should have shown in the first 3.
So the ball back in the middle of the ground. James this time will come from the centre square. He'll go across the ground. Goes looking towards Jones. Bounces favourable. Basely's on the outside. He kicks short out there. Skoronski in a bit of space by himself. Just needs to run onto the ball. Has the favourable bounce. Picks it up now. Stopped and prop. Was tackled. Was forced over the boundary line.
Great tackle.
And there's going to be a throw which will take place out there. Just forward of their centre wing. Bellpost Hill were talking.
Just that little fumble, just let the tackler come in and drag him over the line.
So the ball thrown back in by the umpire. Front of the point is picked up now by Skoronski. He's tackled, brought to ground. Without any prior opportunity, umpire will come in and we will have a ball up which will take place. So both ruckmen at it once again. This time Lovett maybe gets the ball down. Picked up there. Kicked away and ends up in the hands of Carlton. Got the handball back outside. Now Stevenson has the ball. He kicks the ball back towards centre wing. Going back, Basely and all McNamara. Picked up there by Jones. Handball out to Staggard to Leon. He runs onto the ball. He didn't have the ball and he will win the free kick. And so De Leon now with the free kick. Can look back inside. Umpire says he's got to go back over his mark.
No, just had to move
Not
away.
quite sure what Darryl thought he was doing there.
I think he was ready to ship it.
He was.
So De Leon now has the ball on centre wing.
And that's exactly what the umpire should have paid too.
Looks back inside, short kick. Mark is taken out there. What gives the handball inside. Prismal now on the left boot, goes long into their forward line. Good lead up. Mark not taken out there. Ball hits the ground at ground level, picked up there. Herman gets the handball away, goes outside, but Miller runs onto it. Looks back inside, kicks back towards teammate in Scotland. Out the back, Flacavento comes at the ball, and Culliver also. Ball goes over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw-in which will take place.
That ground must be very hard. Because there's a couple of blokes who've got up very, very gingerly hitting it.
Yeah, but he laid on the ground for 30 seconds when the ball was still in play. You've got to get up straight away when you're the captain.
So the ball thrown in this time. Chessman's doing the ruck work up against McNamara. Chessman taps the ball back towards the top of the square, coming out over the run by Andrews. Kicked off the ground, ends up in the hands of James. So James now has the ball, went one way, went back the other, and kicks the ball long. Goes outside 50. Miller leads in the race for the ball. With him is Yates. Ball gets beyond both of them, but quick to react there was Miller. Got the handball away. Ends up in the hands of Stevenson. Got in out of trouble. Looked into the forward line. Kicked into the leading player. The mark has been taken out there again. Is that Benny Leonard once again?
Yep.
So he's going to go back and have another opportunity to kick for goal.
The value of experience. Like, we know how good a player Yates is, but he just outmanoeuvred him and got back up quicker, Miller. Then that was terrific play by Miller.
Different body size too.
Yeah.
Just bounced straight back up, didn't he?
Yeah, he's been good. He can hold his head up very, very, very high, Miller.
So Leonard now comes in, kicks from 45 to 50, long kick, goes into the goal square. Again, McNamara says, I'm just going to help this over the line, and does so. So Werribee Central's now to 10-13. They trail Bell Post still on 18-6. 30 minutes gone. Morris Finance final quarter scoreboard.
And you know what the most unimaginable thing of all? There's only about one shot the difference. One shot the difference
23 to
all day.
24, yep.
So Basely again, beautiful long low pass out onto the centre wing, finds Herman. He kicks down, punched away from the back of the pack there.
That's a mark.
From Yates. The umpire deemed that not to be the case. He did a very good job there underneath all that. It is Miller again.
Look, I reckon that's happened 3 times. Touch it first and mark it again. The umpires, I don't realise that's a mark maybe. I don't know.
Well, it's thrown up. Daly and love it. Gets it this time, going in very hard there and very well done. Is the hyphen? No, was it Carl? No, I reckon it was Mildred Wright who did that, or Gibson.
See,
one of those nondescripts. Basely has won the ball again. Another nice kick out to the half back flank and found Matt James. So James, for once, is not running like a hairy goat with the ball under his arm. He's taking his time, looking for an option. Long up and under drop punt. It's got almost to the half forward flank. Big pack of players go up, punched away, hits the deck. Bodies going at it, dragged in under. Lots of bodies on top of all that. The umpire is saying, keep going, boys, keep going.
Yeah,
no one's going anywhere. Yeah. He's still let
Blow the whistle!
Oh, for goodness sake, that was terrible. That was 10 seconds of complete waste of time, and someone was just going to get hurt out of all that.
He's paid a free kick.
Free kick to Ren Lovett, who was probably the last one up with the bill. He gets it across to James, and he's off again, the little fella. Drop punts into the hot spot. Comes over the back of the pack. Costello trying to pick it up. In there against Ford. He hand passes it back to Costello. Quick kick across the body. Slightly to the right. One behind only. 18-7, 115 Bell Post Hill. Werribee are 10-13, 73. 15 minutes. Morris Finance final quarter.
First score for the quarter for Bell Post Hill.
Yes. Ball brought back in from the back pocket. Only just gets to Prismal. Prismal chips the ball back inside. We'll find Sutton. Sutton goes back outside. They use the ball well. Gibson runs onto it. He kept going, but Morton was coming the other way. Picked up this time. Ettridge it is. Gets the ball out the back to Costello. Has Whitney on the outside. Runs the boundary line. Looks up. Kicks back towards goal. And I tell you what, that is a magnificent finish. Bill Whitney. He gets his, I think it might be his nearly first goal for the afternoon. And it brings up the 19th goal now for Bell Post Hill. They are 19-7. Werribee Centrals are 10-13. We have crossed over 16 minutes. Morris Finance final quarter scoreboard.
I don't know where football has got to, and it's not the umpire. It's not here, just here. Even league footy, I said it last night. When two blokes are going for a mark, one bloke grabs the other and throws him to the ground. And they play on every time. They never pay the free kick anymore. Why? It's an out-and-out dead-set free kick to me. You know, you're allowed to push them in the back out of the... It used to be your body. Footy's changed so much, and for the worst.
So Lovett kicks it down to Whitney. He can't get clear of the pack. Coming through is Carlton. Tackled very quickly was Stevenson. The umpire said you had prior opportunity, son, and Nick Costello for Bell Post Hill will win the ball. Kick it into centre half forward. Delightfully to Jack Yates, who in between two Werribee defenders takes a very good mark and will line up for goal. 30 metres out directly in front, and this will be the 20th goal for the afternoon if he can kick it.
7 Werribee Central's blokes in defence. Not one of them had a man. There's got to be something wrong there. Even if you play on a man and he beats you, that's fine. But
be next to him.
Yeah, none of them were anywhere near them.
So Jack Yates now directly in front, leaves the boot beautifully, fading a little to the left, tap on the shoulder by the goal umpire, one behind only. So they are 19-7, 121. Werribee 10-13-73, 18 minutes into the final quarter. Tyler Cretton has marked.
Cretton.
Cretton.
Tyler Crennan has marked the kick here. Oh, my goodness gracious me. Put that one down in the book, will you,
Mate,
please, Ewan?
you're in next week. He's been just dropped abusing players.
He's had 40 touches today and he still can't get his name right.
Oh,
no.
dear, that's terrible. I'm going to need to sack myself
No,
for
I'm just
that.
going to call you Smithy from now on.
That's it. I'm not coming next week.
Watts delivers the ball back towards centre half forward, gets out the back, basically will run onto the ball by himself. He goes sideways with a kick, and that's a nice looking kick, and we'll find his teammate out there in Andrews. So Andrews now, he can take his time if he wants to. And that's pretty much what he's going to do, but he decides now to go towards centre wing. Low flat kick out there. Ball doesn't get out the back, but it's well read off the contest there by Flacavento. Flacavento goes quickly into the forward line. Out the back it comes. Marcus taken out there. Stevenson. He decides to run and carry and goes back, but only as far as Fantella, who will take the mask on his chest, and he now can slow things down for Bellpost Hill. So Fantella, defensive side of centre wing, goes back into the middle of the ground. Player comes up at the ball. That's Barton, as we said. Had probably one of his quieter games so far today to me, Barton, but he delivers the ball, goes out long, looking for his teammate there from the back. Mark not taken out there by Herman. Comes out the back towards Jones. Jones got the option outside, and that was Whitney. He goes into the forward line, and Yates again takes the mark inside 50. Can go back and have a look at him if he wants to. Willie Kerrins leads, but Yates is still on his backward motion, so he says, I'm going to take a bit of time.
A couple of updates, Dale. Giants 137, Anarchy 28, Inverleigh 93, Bannockburn 65, Thompson 71, Belmont 37, Winch 77, Cry 53.
Yates plays on around the mark and gains a little bit of ground and kicks the ball straight through for a goal. He gets his first of the afternoon, and the 20th now for Bellpost Hill. They're 20 goals 8 I've got them at, and Werribee side are 10-13, nearly 20 minutes gone, final quarter.
Well, Yates, he's presenting up forward now, isn't he? So he does all the hard work for the middle. So, he's helped set this game up, and now he's just having a bit of a spell down there. So Werribee did dominate for the first 15 minutes. Didn't quite probably finish off their work like they should. I think they've kicked 3-3 this quarter. Belpo still taking their couple of opportunities and kicked 2-2, I think it is. And
But how did he get there? Where did he come from? And who was on him? Because Sutton had to leave his man to try and get there. That means his man just didn't bother following him.
So, love it. Left hand scoop to Herman. He kicks it forward.
That's his man there.
And Yates has taken a mark. Again, this time the opposite side. Similar distance out. Going for a short pass this time to the leading McKay. He can't control the ball. Miller does a very good job. Gets it back to teammate there. Kicks down the line. Leonard goes up, but Flacavento just holds his ground and takes a very good mark. Just outside the 50. He's going to go long into the hot spot. Ford is making position in front of Sutton. 3 defenders for Werribee there. It's Prismal who gets the ball out to Scotland. Scotland kicks down the line looking for Patiage. He's held without the ball and will take a free kick. Got a bit of spirit, this boy, and I think he's a bit surly. He hasn't really put that into a huge amount of possession or good play, but he is a bit grumpy at the moment, the young fella. Left foot kick for him down the line, and Bo McNamara just uses his body beautifully against Brad Carlton and takes an easy chest mark, kicks down. 2 players going. It's Morton who marks in front of Barton, who was just about to clean him up.
Geelong, Morton.
Yep.
So Morton now kicks into centre half forward, looking for Ford, punched away by Sutton players coming at the ball. Prismal does a very good job to put it in the path of Stevenson. Culliver, he's dragged down and will give away the free kick for incorrect disposal. And Yates has the ball now. He kicks it out to centre half forward. For half forward flank. Flacavento has it. 45 metres out, very tight angle. He's going back. He wants to be part of the action here. They have 20 goals already, Bellpost Hill. He wants to get a piece of the action himself. Doesn't have one this afternoon yet. They've been well spread, the goal kickers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 of them have had a part in the 20 goals. So he goes back now, Flacavento. The distance will be made. Accuracy is also there, right through the middle. 21 for the afternoon for Bellpost Hill. 21-7. 133. Werribee Centrals are 10-13, 73. And we are 22 minutes into the Morris Finance last quarter.
Look, I just want to make a comparison with what happened in the last 5 minutes, right? Yates goes out on his opponent and outmarks him. He's too good for him. That's acceptable.
Yep.
Because Yates is a good player, and he's been playing well today, and he beats his opponent. But the one before, he's sitting out on his own because his opponent didn't bother fouling him. That's not acceptable.
Yep. No, you're spot on, mate. Fight it out till the end.
So the ball back in the middle once again. This time Lovett gets the hand on the ball. Ball runs out, and it's Bryans who tries to clear the ball away. It's kicked into their half-forward line. Marcus taken there by Skronski. Over the top to Barton. Barton off a step. Got the handball away. Ford came up and presented for him. Handball goes outside. They look up and they go back to centre half forward. And the mark has been taken by Flacavento once again.
Four through the middle.
They got 8 players back beyond him, but no one out at centre half back.
And 4 through the middle without an opponent as well.
So Jordan Flacavento, a much more difficult kick to score with his last kick, and this time from directly in front, about 30 metres out, can go back and get goal number 22 for the Bellpost Hill side. So he comes in now, kicks that goal, looks pretty good off the boot. Umpire does not move one bit, and they have their 22nd. 22-8, I've got them down at it. 10-13 to the Werribee side, and Flacavento, as we said, has his second. Within a minute, we've gone almost 24 minutes. Morris Finance final quarter scoreboard.
Exact opposite of what happened
I was about to say, everything you said, Grub, it just went back the other way, didn't it?
Yeah.
You had a one-on-one contest. If you get beat, you get beat.
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
Yes.
Sometimes it happens. But to have that, you had 4 blokes standing across your half back line, the Werribee half back line, and 3 Bellpost Still blokes there as an option, 40 out from goal.
Make the effort to make a contest.
You've got to play the game out.
Yeah. And of course, the difference from the last game is Bellpost Hill kicked 1 million points up there. And they've kicked as straight as buggery today.
Must be nearly the end of the game. It's gone 24 minutes.
Invalid put the
Won't
foot on the
matter
pedal. Hawks are 41 points in front of Bannockburn now in the big game out there. Ball comes out of the centre to Carlton, who's been really, really good today. His hand pass is intercepted to Lovett. Lovett back to Fantella. He kicks in the middle of the ground over the head of Staggard, which gives Werribee's Watt, and he does a very, very good job. Dragged down off the ball, but kept the ball, got to his feet, kicks it forward, kicked off the ground. But it's Bellpost Hill who got numbers back there. Flacavento hand pass across to, Fantella hand pass across to Flacavento, gets it out to James. James evades his opponent, left foot pass down the line. That's a beauty to find Barton. Barton is looking for options inside. He hasn't got too many. He's going to kick long to centre half forward. Skoronski is there, bounced over his head, punched away by Yates, which gives a little bit of room to Bryans. Bryans can't get it. It comes back to Culliver. He gets it inside to Watt. Watt kicks down the line, looks for De Leon, and he has marked centre wing. Just looking for options. Hand passes to Stevenson, wider out on the wing. He kicks into centre half forward, and he's found a leading Chesterman. Chesterman across to Tyler Crennan, and Tyler Crennan runs straight down the middle of the ground and kicks a beautiful goal. The 12th for the afternoon for the Centrals. And that was a pretty good piece of team play. Very impressed with that after they've copped a bit, and deservedly so for the last few minutes. But Grubby, you'd have to be happy with that. That little burst.
Only that burst, and they've probably done that 3 or 4 times and looked okay. But after that, they've just been smashed by a very, very good side. And it probably says the tale of the tape is that they are playing finals and Werribee aren't. And as I said earlier, 2nd versus 6, you would probably think it would go that way. But I just thought with a little more effort, it might have been a bit closer.
So it's exactly 10 goals, the difference now. Lovett, left hand. Carlton gets a hand on it, can't control it. It's Bryans is pushed off the ball. It comes out. Miller gets it, comes inside to Leon. He hand passes back to his coach, Prismal. He pops it up into the hot spot at centre half forward. Werribee have enough players here. It's Young, but he misses it. And coming through and doing a very good job there is Jones. He gets it back into Bryans. Bryans kicks down to centre half forward. It's a brief poor effort from Gibson. It's gone over the back of the pack. It's Whitney who's kicked it forward, looking in the direction of Ford, but it's gone past him and past Sutton and through for one behind.
I don't think he's looking for Ford there, mate. Every shot.
22 goals, 8-140 they are now. And they've got the ball back in play now at Werribee. That's been dragged down very, very ugly there by McKay. And coming up, looking a little bit worse for where is Darcy Fletcher for the Werribee side. The umpire has said, you can
50.
have 50 metres, whoever. Someone must have been lipping because no one on the mark moved.
No, he's going like this as if he didn't move. I think the umpire thought he moved after he called stand. That's what I thought he did. But
Perhaps he didn't come back when he was asked to come
maybe
back.
it was something to do with
Anyway,
that, I think.
he's given him 40 metres. Perhaps he felt a little bit sorry for him. Culliver's kicked the ball into the hot spot. Linehan Cunningham's pushed off the ball. Comes to De Leon. He kicks quickly forward, but off to the left. One behind only. 11-14, 80. Bellpost Hill 22-8, 140. The 10-goal margin remains. 28 minutes into the Morris Finance last quarter.
Flacavento brings the ball out towards centre wing. Whitney tries to get his hand on the ball. I'm not too sure what he's done to himself. Might have hurt that shoulder. By the looks of him, he's a little bit sore there. Picked up out there. And it's picked up and kicked around the body. That was Andrews. Goes back towards centre wing. Ball gets through the back of the contest. Miller's going to lead in the race for the ball. Went inside, went outside, got tackled, got the handball away. That was okay. Skronsky went over it, put his head over the ball. He was tackled without it, and he's going to win a free kick. Skronsky. So Skronsky now. He's forward of centre wing.
Whitney coming off the ground too.
Now someone else has said something, so there's another 50 being given now.
I wonder if it's going to be 50 or 40. Dill's come off the ground and that shoulder's gone again, Dale.
Certainly has. Tell you what, Grub, you'd like 22 Matty Millers in your team, wouldn't you?
Does that come from the bench, has
Yeah,
it?
if you had
As far
that,
as Endeavour goes.
who'd play in the ruck?
Well, he just drove to himself.
So Skronsky now has got a shot at goal. So he got himself on the board. Yes, he has. So we won't have an additional one. But Skronsky now from about 30 metres out, I reckon, possibly.
30.
30? Yep, 20. Straight through the middle, 20 bird. Twyla, Skronsky. 23 goals now for the Bellpost Hill side. 23-9. They lead Werribee on 11-14. Almost 30 minutes gone. Morris Finance final quarter scoreboard.
42 points in below.
I tell you this, right? Murphy Watts just found out what playing footy like is again because Barton just whacked him in the guts and give him a good one. But that's why footy's changed. I remember a bloke did that to me from Northcote. It wasn't until the next game we played and he was over the ball, so Byron picketed him. Carried off the ground on a stretcher, and as he was going off, I said, "Don't ever do that to me again, mate, because I'll get you back." He won't even bother because they don't do that in football anymore. But that hurt him, I tell you, that hurt.
So Lovett is unopposed in the ruck, wins the tap. Coming through is Herman, but he misses the ball. Prismal kicks forward. Players are wobbling round trying to get hold of it. No one really has. There's another wounded player there. Hobbling there is young Kerins. He's heading off to the forward pocket for a bit of a rest. The umpire has the ball. We are now 30 minutes.
That'll be the back pocket. By the way.
Back pocket for him, yeah. Sorry, punched forward, coming through very strongly. Coming onto the ball is Chesterman. He's going to run in an open goal and kick the 12th for the Werribee Centrals. 12-14, 86. Bellpost Hill 23-8, 146. We're back to exactly 60-point margin. Surely that's all there'll be.
Well, again, I think the goal was created by the Werribee bloke pushing the Bellpost Hill bloke in the back
Out of the way.
And what I can't understand is they're letting that go in all football now. Who changed the rules? Who come and changed the rules and says you're allowed to push them in the back? Who come and changed the rules to say you're allowed to throw them on the ground?
The written rule hasn't changed.
The written rule hasn't changed, but someone's come along and said, no, that's all right. It makes the football look better.
But the interpretation can't really change either. It's like you're pushing it back or you've grabbed him without the ball. It's a free kick.
Exactly, but it has. It has.
It's pretty simple.
And I don't think it's, especially on backman, it's not fair.
So ball goes up the middle again. Love it again. Unopposed. I don't know what's happened to Daly. He must have gone off or wounded, I think.
Yeah.
He hasn't been out there for a little while, and that is the end. 23 goals, 8, 146. Bellpost Hill, the home side, Werribee Centrals, 12-14, 86. Exactly 60-point margin, and that is the end of the Morris Finance final quarter. Goal kickers, Dale, and there's plenty of them.
Yes, for the Bellpost Hill side. Forward with 4, 3 each to Costello, Kerins and also Ettridge, 2 to Skronsky and also Flacavento, and 1 each to Yates, Andrews, Whitney, Fantella, Bryans, McNamara. So a range of goal kickers there. And for the home side, Werribee Central, Prismal with 2, Crennan with 2, Leonard with 2, Chesterman also with 2, and 1 each to McDonald, Linehan, Cunningham, Young, and Ryan Young. So we'll take a short break, come back, and hopefully we'll be able to tell you where all the winners came from this afternoon. You listen to 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.
Thanks, buddy.
Back here at Galvin Park, final score sees Bellpost Hill 23-9-147 defeating Werribee, and thus ending their slight glimmer of playing final footy 12-14-86. Grubby, how'd you see it, mate? Well, you need your headphones on first.
Yeah, I was trying to get a score from somewhere, but pretty disappointed. I thought I never actually thought that Werribee Central could actually win this match, because as I said a few times, it's 2nd versus 6. But I thought they would have put up a better effort, and I thought they could have stuck with them for a while, and they were just absolutely smashed off the park. I think if Bellpost Hill had kept going with the play they were at three-quarter time into the last quarter and been fair income about it, I think they would have won by quite a lot more. They took the foot off the pedal. They then thought, oh, we better kick a couple, so they did whenever they felt like it, and then they took the pedal off again. So what it does, all right, Werribee weren't going to make the finals anyway, so I can understand that. But it puts a new light on Bellpost Hill, because it is hard normally to come here and win at Galvin Park. Bannockburn failed to do so, East failed to do so, and Bellpost Hill have come and done it in unbelievable fashion. And as I said earlier, a couple of inclusions, 4 finals in Matty James, who was good, and Ettridge, who was dangerous. Can they do it against better sides? We're going to find out, because they will be in them sides. Puts them in a bit of a different light. I just had this feeling after watching Bellpost Hill a couple of times that they were the side, possibly along with Bannockburn, that I didn't think could win it. But after a performance like that, they're back in it. They can win it. I don't know if Dylan Whitney's shoulder's gone. I don't know. I hope it's not, because they need him.
You've got Sable out. You've got Collins out.
Sable
You've got James back, which is good.
I think you'll get Collins back. He'll play with a guard or something come finals if he can, because he's a wonderful player.
What's their run home like?
Bellpost Hill will win
Thompson,
next week,
yeah,
and they'll have Thompson in the last game.
They've got Belmont, I think, next week.
So they'll win, and who knows? So, if they can beat Thompson, they'll finish second or third. So, and that gives them a good...
Belmont at home,
finals.
and then Thompson at Thompson. So, it's
Thanks, Eric.
they should win that. What?
I just told you that, and you told him again. Do you want to know twice, do you?
He needs to know twice.
Well, maybe
mate.
some of our listeners didn't hear it the first time. All right.
They turn off when you speak. So
I think Werribee would be very, very, very disappointed. Knowing they probably were not good enough to win the game, I think they'd be pretty disappointed in their performance. I think there's a few people in the crowd weren't too happy with it earlier in the day, and I just don't think they tried hard enough at times.
There was some of it. I think it's probably one of those times where you look across the ground and say they, but there were ones in the they that were quite good, and that was why they built up these really good passages of play, and you get excited, and then they allow 4 goals to get kicked and do nothing. It looked horrible.
Well, it was their structure. Like, how can you have 6 players hovering around in the forward line and not one of them picking up a man?
Yeah. Then
all of a sudden, when the ball comes in, they go to pick him up, and it's already been marked.
too late.
You made a really interesting point, and it's really valid about understanding and knowing the game. You look at a guy like Bo McNamara, who's just the ultimate defender. You mentioned 3 players who were playing in defence who were not instinctive defenders, and they were their 3 better players, but they're not natural defenders. So all those things that normal defenders do instinctively, they just weren't doing.
No, that's right. And as I say, they've got 3 or 4 blokes down there who were forwards.
Yeah.
But with a bit of height, they have to play down there because they haven't got it in their back line. Their back line, well, they obviously got smashed last week at Belmont, 7 goals in the first, half an hour. And they got smashed here when the ball went forward. When they had the ball, they looked all right. They still kicked 12 goals when they got it, or 12-14. So they've had 26 shots at goal. So their forwards are okay. Their on-ballers were good. And their back line just got absolutely pummeled.
Well, the thing is, Grubby, so their forwards going back. You have those forwards forward. Could be a different story.
Yeah, but who do you put down back?
That's why I don't coach
They
anymore.
haven't got them.
I was wondering about Linehan Cunningham doing a swap with Sutton and see if they, because he really only had 2. Did he kick a goal, Linehan Cunningham? That was it.
Yeah, but I would most definitely have tried that. Just to see, because poor old Sutton was under siege all day. Give him a go up forward, because I know he can play, and I know he can mark, and I know he can kick. So that could have been an option. But it's pretty hard when you got options like that and you know that you're going to get thrashed. You just might bypass. I was quite interested at the 3/4 time speech. It was mild, and he spoke about all the good things that they did in that third quarter, and I couldn't remember any of them. But and it was try and win the last quarter. But I just don't know. I know I singled out Chesty a little bit, but I don't know whether his endeavour was quite there in the first half. And yet it was in the second. And against a good side, everybody's endeavour has to be 100% from the time the first ball's been bounced. And you've got to... How many tackles did Belpost Hill break today? It would have been 100. They just couldn't tackle them.
Well, Dale and I spoke about it at 3/4 time when you were out listening to the huddle, mate. And Belpost still didn't let them do what they wanted to do.
No,
that was the way it panned out.
Well, I understand that, but how can they not let them tackle?
Well, you can't stop them tackling, can you?
You know, like they got their hands on a bloke, I reckon, 20 times, and it was just shrugged. Now, is that strength? Maybe. Is it inexperience? Maybe. Or is it dead set not knowing how to tackle? When they play the game that they play, they don't need to tackle Werribee because they run down the ground and they look like millionaires. They don't have to tackle. But when they're not playing that well and they have to tackle, they can't.
All right, lads. Maybe it's time for some votes.
I've got no idea.
I'll go first because I like to be laughed at first.
Okay.
I'm going to give a 1 vote to Brad Carlton because of all the things that you've said about Werribee, and they're quite true. They had a few that stood up. Miller was one, but I thought Carlton was a very good 4/4 player. And the side sadly beaten. 2 votes to Dylan Whitney, and I don't... Well, maybe there is some doubt, but I didn't think there was any doubt that Caleb Basley was the best player on the ground.
All right.
Won't get any change from me. Best player on the ground, Caleb Basley for me.
Oh, of course it was. Every week.
Bo McNamara was very, very strong in the centre half back position, and held up the defence pretty nicely for Belpost Hill. So I gave him 2, and I gave Matty Miller 1 vote. So I thought I was trying I actually thought there was a lot of good players, or half a dozen good players for Werribee, and the one that already been mentioned, they're the ones that got in there and did the work. So I reckon Matty Miller gets my one vote.
Well, I would love to give Miller a vote. I'd love to give Crennan a vote. I would love to give Crennan. I would love to give Carlton a vote. And there was one more that I don't remember.
Daly was good.
Yeah, but I just can't give any of them a vote because of the absolute dominance of the opposition. So I gave one vote to McNamara, I gave 2 votes to Jack Yates, and I gave 3 votes to Cubby Basley.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, Dale.
It was terrific.
He was
What
fantastic.
are you going to do?
Well, I actually, as much as I hate to say it, I had the same list as Grubby. I can't believe it.
So finally, you got it right.
I can't actually believe I'm saying those words come out of my mouth.
So finally, you've got it right.
I'm going to have to have a drink of water to clear my throat. I nearly choked myself. So clearly, our Hotham Hotel player of the day is Caleb Basley with a perfect 12.
The good thing about it, Grubbers, we didn't give one away last week, and we must have one for our spare for ourselves for the final game.
Who was last week's, by the way? Was it John McIntyre?
John McIntyre, mate. Yeah, it was pretty unanimous.
Well, we didn't hand it out, so no, technically not right.
No, he did text me. Oh, you're going to do the votes. I said, we haven't got a card, mate. And he goes, well, we're going to do the votes anyway. All right, before we go and get our wrap-up from Grubby with all of our wonderful sponsors, lads, where are we going next week?
Well, you better tell me what the games are before we make that decision.
I'll do that right now. Inverleigh are hosting North Geelong.
We won't
Geelong
be going
West
there.
are hosting Winchelsea.
We won't be going there.
Bellpost Hill, Belmont.
I don't think so.
East Geelong, Werribee.
Nope.
Corio, Bannockburn.
Nope.
Anarchy, Thompson.
We've got the week off, Bruce. We have got the week off. We have got the week off.
That is the worst round coming into finals, isn't it?
Bailey said he's available next week. We'll just leave it.
Hang on a minute. All right, let's look at the other. Who provides the best afternoon tea?
Werribee today.
Anarchy.
Werribee's was fantastic today.
Say them games again, please.
Okay.
Inverleigh North.
Yeah, Inverleigh North.
No.
Geelong West, Winchelsea.
Possible.
Bellpost Hill, Belmont.
Possible.
East Geelong, Werribee.
No.
Corio, Bannockburn.
No.
Anarchy, Thompson.
No.
I think we
You
have
want
got
to go
the
and see a side that's going to play finals to get yourselves warmed up. Now, I won't be here next week, remember, so be back to, unless, young Bailey's good to go. He's go over concussion and he's keen to go next week, so you can still run a 4-person team if you want.
What about that Irish git? Where's he?
He's gone to speak to the coaches.
Oh.
He's Scott.
Where are we going to go, boys?
Well, it's a seriously lopsided round, isn't it?
It is. It's. I'm
not going to be there, but I would say history says Geelong West and Winchelsea have good games. That's probably going to be the closest, but none of them play finals, so you probably
that's the
shouldn't.
one we went to last round.
Last year, and
No, last round.
oh, was it?
Yeah.
At Winch and West, at Winch.
Yeah, we did Winch and West at Winch. Yeah, we did.
How does that happen? They're the second last game of the year.
Don't know.
It wasn't last round with there, Grubby. It was about 9 weeks ago.
We went to West last year for Winch and
So, yeah, I
expected
know.
a close game, and
So
they got beaten by 100
So if
points.
we only went there, how come they play each other twice if they played them so late in the round?
Well, it must have been round 7 we went out there, mate. Round 6 or round
Was it
7.
that long ago?
Yeah, it was, yeah. I know you're not quite all with us all the time, mate. But all right.
Well, I just didn't
There
think
it
it was that long ago.
Yeah.
That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks ago.
Well, there you go.
There
It
you
was
go.
that long ago, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, what are we going to do? I mean, we do want to go watch sides playing finals. You know, you'd hope Werribee could have something a bit more than what they showed today.
But don't you think the sides that are going to play finals this year, don't you think they're all going to have big wins
Probably,
next
yeah.
week?
Certainly are.
So you think Western Winch?
I think I'll go to Werribee versus Williamstown at Churnside Park.
Mate,
And you
mate,
both
we
can
know,
do
we know,
whatever
we
you
know,
want.
we know, you know it's a home game for you, mate, but someone's got to head back down the highway. Make your bloody mind
All right,
up.
Werribee Districts versus Deer Park.
Yeah,
Peanut.
come
I
on.
don't know.
Elvis is twitching.
You're doing more than that.
Come on, what have we got, Grub? We going to Western Winch, or are we going to, I mean, the other games?
Dale.
The
Bellpost
only
Hill.
other game you can go to see is really a big cry at Bannockburn.
Yeah.
If you want to watch a
Where's
Go
final.
and
that
watch
at?
Joel Bennett
That's a
turn it
Corio.
on.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Corio Bannockburn next week. There we go,
Do
Corio.
that.
The Devil's
All right.
Playground.
Well done, Smithy. And
Thank God.
remember next week, if it's 47 goals of difference, Dale Smith said, let's go to Corio. Okay?
Cryo Bannockburn
There
next
you go,
week. Cryo, our
David
sponsors.
Steele.
You got our sponsors for us, Grubby? Wrap of our sponsors, mate? No, you haven't.
well-
Fairhaven Homes, Buckley's Entertainment Centre, Lifeline. Remember, you can't do it alone.
You can't do it alone.
Morris Finance, Caraibar Health Group.
All the pubs.
And our pubs, mate.
Yards Hotel, Hotham Hotel. Come the feed, you beauty!
And get to the Corridales at Lara and have a look at a beautiful Fairhaven home.
Greatest display homes I've ever seen in my life. Go Fairhaven Homes!
Thank
And
you,
David
Jules.
Steele, thank you very much again for your afternoon. We really appreciate your effort back there at the studio. This has been 94.7 The Pulse, your home of local football.